Welcome in, everybody, to Medina High School. TJ Downing here with John Lowery and Jamie Fausnight as we get you set for the quarterfinals here at the M.I.T. 46th Annual Medina Invitational Tournament. Quarterfinals getting ready to take place on mat number 1, 2, and 3. But before we get down to the wrestling action and kind of catch you up on what was going on earlier here today as we got this wrestling tournament underway, let's go ahead and talk about some of our sponsors who make this broadcast on the Stark Media YouTube channel possible. It all starts with our friends, our presenting sponsor at the Eagles FOE number 190 in downtown Massillon. Make sure to check them out at their website at eagles190.com or call them at 832-7385. Go down there, sign up, patronize them, be a part of a group that gives back to the community over $100,000 a year. This broadcast also brought to you in part by CH Vallos and Associates, McNeill and Sons Tree Service, Lindseys Pizza, finally HeroHot.com, Leathernecks Nation MC, and Hilscher-Clarke Electric Company. All right, as we go through some of these wrestlers who have advanced, we have over here on mat 4, 5, and 6, which you can't see right now.
Right.
Those are your Consis. Let's talk about some of the teams that have made their way up here to Summit County from Stark County. Only two of them, North Canton Hoover Vikings. They come in here, as well as the Northwest Indians. All right, and as I welcome in my partners, John Lowery and Jamie Fausnight, we know that advancing Alex Bosky in the 150 will, for North Canton, get on the mat here to take on Hunter Martin out of Beechwood. Alex Bosky, Jamie, as you mentioned, he was able to upset a number 5 seed earlier. He was down 2-0. He was a D2 guy. Tough match. You got a chance to see that.
Yeah, he was in I think it was ranked number 5 in Division II, not just seeding. It was highly ranked wrestler. Alex was down 2-0, and in our room, that kid got Alex Bosky. Alex hits some funky stuff. He's not your normal guy. He's a very unconventional wrestler. You gotta mind your P's and Q's when you wrestle a guy like that.
All right, and as we look, John Lowery, as we welcome you in for the Northwest Indians, it looks like Josh Ferris, who is actually a guest of myself and Jim Bostic, as we had our first In the Room episode with the Northwest Indians some 4 weeks back. Talked with Josh Ferris. He's going to be wrestling at 138, taking on Connor Haney of Medina. Josh comes into this thing not ranked. His opponent, Connor Haney, the number 1 guy.
Number 1 guy, that's a title shot. That's what I call that. Great opportunity. Yeah, you get that, anytime you get a chance to, scrap with the best on the map. That's why you showed up today, right, Jamie?
Absolutely. If you come here to take first place, you got to beat everybody.
That's right.
So you got to go through everybody. It's just the next guy in line. It doesn't matter where he's ranked or anything like that. The kids that you see outside staring at the brackets, trying to figure out who's who and what record that guy has and this and that, they're the ones who struggle. The guys who show up and they're ready to take on are the guys who finish at the top.
All right, and then we're just looking at if you're tuned into the broadcast, mat 1. That is the mat closest to us. And then there's mat 2 and 3. These are the quarterfinals right now on mat 1. You got Jeremy Cybro, Beaver Creek, a freshman, up against Kurt Mokros of Olin Tangi, who's a sophomore. And it's 0-0 on mat 1. These are all quarterfinals. Mat 2, we got from Westerville North, Colton Russell. That's weight 106 for Scott Fuller from Genoa. Both of them are freshmen. And the score there is 8-2. And that's 106-pound weight class. Then we got the 113-pound weight class quarterfinal at mat 3 right now. It's Joseph Lubergill from Wasion versus Tyler Barnes from Delta. And both of those guys are freshmen. So we got, look at this.
Going for that funky little tilt over there.
Out of 6 wrestlers, Jamie, 5 freshmen.
Which is pretty standard for those lower weight classes. In the 106, 113, you tend to have some underclassmen that break the line up because they're just not fully grown yet.
Right.
But, that's kind of par for the course in a tournament like this.
All right, again, the 46th Annual Medina Invitational Tournament known as M.I.T. up here. Let's talk about some of the schools that are involved here this Wednesday and Thursday. All right, the Ashland Arrows are here. Austintown Fitch, the Avon Eagles, and the Avon Lake Shoremen. Beechwood Bison, Beaver Creek, Bedford, Brunswick, right down the street. The Buckeye Bucks, we'll talk about them here in just a second. Clarkston Wolves, Clover Leaf Colts, Columbia Raiders, the Copley Indians, Delta Panthers, Elyria Catholic Panthers, Firelands, Galleon Tigers, Genoa Area Comets, Highland Hornets, Hilliard Derby Panthers, all are in it. The Hoover Vikings, as we talked about, coming up here, 11 Viking state champs in their school history. All-time Viking state placers, there's 57 of them. Head coach Nick Gamble for the Hoover Vikings in Division I. Continuing down for the MIT, Lutheran West, Mansfield Senior, the Twigers, the Mayfield Wildcats, Medina Battling Bees, Miami East Vikings, New Lexington Panthers, North Ridgeville Rangers, also Northmore, the Golden Knights are here. The Northwest Indians out of the western part of Stark County. They've come up. Coach Art Kali again was our first guest on In the Room with Jim Bostic, 3 state champions in their history, most notably Cody Butzer. We all remember that name.
Yes, we do.
The all-time Northwest state placers, there's 41 of them. Also here, Oak Harbor, the Olentangy Braves, Olmsted Falls, Ostiago Knights, the Solon Comets, and the Upper Arlington Golden Bears. Also the Wauseon Indians and Wellington Dukes. Westerville North Warriors rounded out. All right, let's give you the top 10. Right now, coming into this quarterfinal round at number 10 with 43 points is Avon. At number 9 with 46 points is Mayfield. At number 8, 48.5 points, Fitch. At 7, 52.5 points, Avon Lake. When you look down here at a 3-way tie or a 2-way tie for 5th, the Genoa area team at 5, going down to 4 with 55 points is Medina Highland. In 3rd place, Beaver Creek with 56.5 points. In the 2nd spot with 57 points, Wauseon. And number 1, sitting here at the 1 spot, team total 81.5 points, the Buckeye Bucks of Medina. Not a whole lot of people know about the Buckeye Bucks. Just about 5 to 10 miles west of here, smaller school. Their wrestling program has kind of elevated themselves over the last couple of years, right?
It's definitely a tough farm type community. It's smaller, but and the kids grow up, Balin Hay, they're tough kids. They and transitions into wrestling, like we were talking to Carrollton guys last year. It's pretty similar type community from what I understand.
Yeah, it is. But I remember, Jamie, you probably remember too. Buckeyes always had, 1 or 2 always up there on the leaderboard, over the years. And it's good to see them actually got the lead here on the main team leaderboard here at this tournament. Yeah. This is,
I did see that. I think that they were the favorites coming in.
I was just going to ask that. Okay. Yeah, so that's just shows programs can grow. Got the right coaches in there and a team that wants to commit to it.
All right, so we're in the round of 16, the quarterfinals underway here at Medina Senior High School. Let's talk again here about, let's go with the Northwest Indians first. We know in Consis, you're going to have Owen Gonzalez still going to wrestle here tonight. Abram Lazarus, another one of those guys who joined us on the In the Room episode with Jim Bostic. Chad Griffith, Owen Reinford, who we just saw win a match before we came on air. He's going to wrestle heavyweight later this evening as well on the Consis. All this information, again, courtesy of our good friends Josh Kali and junior high coach David Talarchik. Had his oldest son, Tyler Talarchik, who was back in town here as we shot the 4th episode of In the Room. We're over there with Ronnie Hepner and the Jackson Polar Bears. And Tyler, along with Vic Marcelli, also Griffin McKinney, who's playing football down at Capitol. All those guys came back to be able to work out early morning before Christmas. But
what a good group of kids.
Still, Jamie, with the chance to be able to win this thing. You've got Josh Ferris at 138, and you've also got Lucas Nair at 132, who's going to wrestle Malachi Sharpley out of Solon, who's 15-1. Tech fought a guy 10-0 early in this thing, and that was one of those Buckeye Bucks that he was able to take down. So this Malachi Sharpley going to be a tall task, Lucas Nair.
The Solon wrestling program is second to none. They've been around forever.
Coach D.
Giovanni ran it different than everybody else. So many different aspects. Back in the olden days, when a match went into overtime, there was like a 1-minute break. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
And coaches would fan their kids off chairs.
Yeah.
The Solon kids would run laps around the mat during that 1-minute break while the other kids sitting there getting fanned off for the overtime. There was just they just did things different by their own rules, and it was such a fun thing. Like they go to the state tournament and they're all dressed up. Well, they'll have their robes for the finals. Yeah. But they would be dressed all silly and they would look like, they're in all kinds of weird stuff just to make light of such a big occasion.
Right.
But they always play by their own rules and wrestle at a high level. You always have your work cut out when you got a Solon kid standing across from you.
One of the greatest things, probably both of us at one time attended, is Solon High School. I don't know if they still do this, but Coach Giovanni used to have like one of the most famous open mats in Northeast Ohio.
It was a summer open mat, and everybody was welcome. It was like every Wednesday or something like that. We had North Canton kids going there for years. It was just a great way to keep kids in shape in the off season.
Jamie, talk to us a little bit more about the wrestling style of Alex Bosky. I believe he's
Oh my goodness.
he's the only one from North Canton who's going to advance in this tournament. I know that I believe we talked about Owen Pasick. He was wrestling in the Consis as well. But Alex Bosky, you said, kind of has a different style. He's just a different looking wrestler and brings a different approach to the mat.
Yeah, first of all, what's funny about Alex Bosky, he's a great kid. And I'm telling you right now, nobody's going to stand on the other side of the mat and be intimidated by him. You know, he's not full of muscle. He's just he looks like a bookworm. But he's like a class A clinger. When he gets a hold of something, it's very difficult for him to let go. He's a Peterson roll guy. He gets to that spot in all kinds of weird places, not only like on bottom, but do it out of his high crotch from a crackdown. And that's what happened in his last match. He was wrestling a really tough kid. He was down 2-0, and as the match ended with about 10 seconds to go, he got into a little scramble, caught the kid in a Peterson, and ended up as time expired. He got his 5 count and won by 3-2.
Jamie, tell us about this young man down here on mat number 4. He's trailing 6-3 in the third period, 1:03 left here on the Consi side.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I've been really watching this match the whole time. These are two great kids, actually. The Medina kid is the head coach's son, the little Gilmore kid. And our kid is Stamatios Paxos. His dad wrestled for me. It's funny. This is the first family that I coached 2 generations of.
Wow.
Stam is an undersized 6. He weighed in at like 104. Everybody else is really, coming from about 112 down. He'll fit into the weight class, I think, a little better next year. But I'll tell you what, he came out, he wrestled really good. He won his first match. The Gilmore kid's tough as nails. That's a good win for Gilmore. I like both of those kids a lot. It's funny because, I actually wrestled his dad when we were in high school, the Gilmore kid. And we become great friends after we get older. And I've watched that kid grow up on Facebook. It's so exciting to see him wrestling his first M.I.T.
That's cool.
But that's a great showing for Paxos. He had a great tournament.
6-3.
Really proud of him.
Final score there, yeah. Good for him, yep. Good people. Shout out to his family as well. Yeah, I know the family.
Lambros is great.
Go back. All right, and over here on mat 1, we just had Buckeyes, since we were just talking about them. Their guy won at 113 weight class. That's Colin Limbert for tech fall over Logan Lettner from Cloverleaf. And then mat 2, we're up at the 126-pound weight class from the Firelands. Ruben Pina Lorenzana versus Logan Besecker from Beaver Creek. And both those guys are seniors on that mat there. And that's for the 126-pound weight class. It's 2-0. And kid from the Firelands is in the green. Logan Besecker from Beaver Creek's in the red. And in mat 3, we got possible tech fall in the – oh, it already happened. It just happened.
Just starting now.
Okay, it's just starting now then. I'm just looking at the update here on the team score, and I don't know if anybody's going to catch Buckeye during this round. They're like 30 points ahead of Wauseon.
Yeah, it looks like as these quarters started, Buckeye Bucks with an 81.5 point total, 57 points for Wauseon. So yeah, you're right. You got a little bit of a spread there, about 24.5 points, and
a lot of ground can be caught up. If you're going to come in here and you expect to win a tournament like this, there's a few things that have to happen. Number one, every kid has to contribute. Every kid needs to win. Not everybody has to win the tournament. Every kid has to contribute. Every kid that wins needs to try and get some bonus points, winning by a major tech fall pin, and then what's really huge is the semis.
Well, Jamie, those bonus points do add up, don't they?
They certainly do. You can essentially equate having another guy in your lineup. They only earn so many points. You have a kid go and he goes 2-2, doesn't place. He earned about 8 points for the team, where you have a couple guys that get pins and tech falls and things like that. It's like having another point scorer in your lineup, but the semifinals, when that round happens, those are the most, the highest level of points you can get, because there's advancement points involved. So you have to do damage in the semis. Those are the best ways to come out hot, win matches at the early, got to win some Consi matches and win those semis. Get bonus. That's how you stay in front in a tournament like this.
Bonus, baby. All right, and speaking of that, we got Mayfield wrestler now, Salvatore Parmesano over there on mat 3. They just finishing up with the first.
That roll through tilt right there.
Yep.
Finish the period.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites right there.
He's
That
gonna
little roll through tilt. Love that.
I think he's gonna finish with some bonus there soon here over his opponent. And shout out to Mayfield legend, and I believe we talked about this earlier. Still the holder of the Ohio Division I state tournament record for the quickest pin in the state finals. Derek Thor Bendow, heavyweight state champion, Mayfield, Ohio.
Mayfield always has some tough kids, man. They may not always have like a top to bottom full team, but there's always some tough kids in that lineup. All those Cleveland schools up that way, Strongsville, Mayfield, they're all just, they always have some tough kids. Solon, good
Right.
public schools where, those kids, Brunswick, all of them, they're just always have a few tough kids that are going to come out and get in your face.
I agree. Yep. Well, you mentioned Solon. Yeah, that's always. Do you remember Mahomes, the brothers that wrestled there? Yeah. When you mentioned guys running around the mat, I remember those guys.
Oh.
They look like Division I track stars.
Yeah, it was just a different breed. They just looked different. It
Yep.
made you excited about wrestling. They were great for the sport.
Love seeing that. Yep.
All right, so let's talk about a little local flavor again here. Start Media team live on our Start Media YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in, checking us out up here at the 46th annual M.I.T tournament at Medina High School. All right, so as the Northwest Indians and the North Canton Hoover Vikings have come up here, they have brought with them the Indians, Aaron Workinger in the 106 division. Paxos, who we just talked about, was in the Consis. When you look down here as well through 113, you've got Aaron Fowler from Northwest, Ethan Kling from Hoover. In 120, you've got Tanner Fausnight. So we got a little bit of relation there. We're going to talk about your young man there here in a little bit, Jamie. As we look to 126, Owen Gonzalez from Northwest. At 132, Owen Pasick. We'll talk about him. Got a chance to see him wrestle here earlier. Owen Pasick for Hoover, and also Lucas Nair from North, who is moving on, as we mentioned, to take on Malachi Sharpley from Solon. We'll see him here shortly. Josh Ferris from Northwest also moving on at 138. Nobody in there from Hoover. For 144, you've got Abram Lazarus and also Cooper Westfall from Hoover. Lazarus, another one of those guys who was able to join Jim Bostic on In the Room, our first episode. You can go back and check out all of those episodes right here on the Start Media Team YouTube channel. Alex Bosky, who we mentioned, will be taking on Hunter Martin out of Beechwood. He's in the 150. Slyman, check that, Jackson Silman from Northwest, also at 150. Mason Gonzalez from Northwest is here. Christian Friel, who got some great reviews from Coach Brian Baum when we talked to you guys at the Hoover Holiday Tournament. They're at 157. At 165, nothing. That's a scratch. When you look down at 175, Cody Workinger, great football player, I believe, made All-State for the Northwest Indians. He's at 175. At 190, you've had Chad Griffith from Northwest, who will be wrestling in the Consis here shortly. At 215, you've got Bradley Garber of Northwest. And to round it out at 285, you've got Owen Reinford for the Indians. Tell us about your young man, Tanner. Put a little shine on him.
Oh, he got certified today. He got down to weight. That was one of the main goals. He's been sick for a while. That bug's been going through our room. I don't think that really had any factor on the way he performed. I think he wrestled as tough as he could. He came across the buzzsaw in the first round, and then he lost a tough match in the first round of Consi. So his day's done, but I was happy to see him go a solid 5 minutes. His gas tank looked better than what I hoped for after a tough weight cut and being sick for all Christmas break. He's been quite a trooper. He manages his weight so much better than I did. I'm so proud of him. He tries so hard.
Question for you, Jamie. Speaking on that, the commitment level these boys put in week in, week out is astronomical versus I think what some people think actually happens behind the scenes. How would you just guesstimate today? What do you think a kid puts in? One of these guys that's out here competing today, what do they put in a week? If not just what they do in the room, but on extra stuff too.
Well, you know, and that's, I kind of touched on this last week, is like you can tell a kid who truly loves it by what he's willing to sacrifice. You know, that people don't, you know, a volleyball player doesn't have to maintain their diet all week and go to super strenuous practices. You know, they obviously put a lot of work in, but this is Christmas break. And when I coached high school wrestling, we believed that Christmas break was our most important time of the year. Like in football, when you two-a-days and all that beginning part of the season. This is a great time of year because you're practicing at 9 a.m. in the morning. You know, kids are conditioned, especially high school kids, they're conditioned to be in a learning state. You know, they've been going to school at 9 o'clock in the morning their whole lives. They're in class, they're sitting there, they're attentive. So this is a time where you can kind of finalize your team's offense into the kids, and you can get a lot of ground cover. Now, as you said, you know, what do they do extra? This is the time of year where they do practice in the morning. So that gives them time in the evening to go catch an open mat, to go for a jog. My son went to the Y and lifted, hit the sauna a little bit, you know, and, you know, there's that extra time. So this is actually the really big time to make that push for all your conditioning, to get all your stuff in, so you don't have to add to it as the season goes on. You kind of get your offense and your defense put together, and then you kind of build off it from here. But this is such an important part of the season.
It's transitional as far as what will determine how you finish out at the end, right?
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of North Canton and the North Canton Y, I know our good friend Chris Vallos from CH Vallos and Associates is listening in, tuning in to us here this afternoon. He's one of those guys that when he shows up at the Y, he just goes in there for the steam and the sauna. We call that the executive.
Maybe the
executive workout, maybe hit the jacuzzi, maybe pop up in there, get a little steam and sauna and go from there. But it sounds like the young man Tanner putting a little bit of extra work, so that's always good to see. All right, sticking with that North Canton theme, second to last time we got a chance to talk to everybody out there on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. That was, let's go rewind it. The previous time we were at the tri-match, John, with Alliance, Massillon, and McKinley. Great event that they had on. I believe down at the field house, they're hosting like 24 teams here today and tomorrow.
Wow.
So a nice little tournament there that the Kansas City School District is putting on. But the time before that, when we were at the Hoover Holiday, both of you guys, we talked a little bit before we jumped on air here, comparing this to the Hoover Holiday. You've got a lot of teams that have showed up, a lot of high-end talent, but just kind of apples to oranges. Both of you guys kind of compare the M.I.T. and the Hoover Holiday tournament.
I'll go first. So, you know, this tournament traditionally, you know, it's a grinder. You know, it's been known to be one that always, you know, kind of checks you into part two of your season almost, because you got, you know, this and then, you know, not too much else before you hit that sectional district and state meet. So a lot of people like that. One thing I think that's a little bit different, it's the same, I would say, intensity as the North Canton Holiday as far as what you're seeing out there, but we're seeing a different mix. This is, you know, it's almost like some of your guys from the Ironman that were there. We covered that early on in the season versus some of your guys from the Hoover Holiday. And we're seeing some guys that we never even seen before. There was a coach I was speaking with earlier down the floor from Michigan that's here. So, you know, I know in Hoover Holiday we had a Michigan team there, but it's a different one. But it's you got some unknowns here that are happening that haven't happened yet. So I like that. I like that, you know, challenge. Also, it kind of, I think, paints a picture for a lot of these kids as far as what they're maybe going to see at the sectional, the district, or even at the state. So it's you get that extra value anyway out of this M.I.T. So,
you know, every year these types of tournaments, you know, the North Canton Holiday, the Brecksville, the Medina, the Top Gun, that Wasion tournament. Is it Wasion? What's the one that? Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's coming up soon.
It's Tiffin or Wasion. Yeah,
Wasion. Yeah, yep. and like I said, every weight class is different. You may have 6 hammers in one weight class. You can say maybe 144 at North Canton was way better than this tournament. I don't know. I'm just saying, throwing out numbers.
Just an example.
But I mean, you know, I think that our tournament had a few more Division I and out-of-state schools. It was a little bigger schools. This one has a bigger mix of different size schools. And then, you know, it doesn't matter at a tournament like this. Those kids are put through the same grind and they're just as tough, you know, but it's a different look. We're not here wrestling a Jackson kid, a Lake kid, and a Perry kid.
Right.
You know, so you come, you leave the county, you come somewhere where it's a little different. And like you said, traditionally, you know, before there was Ironman. This was the Mecca.
Yes.
This was the tournament that like I said, I couldn't wait to wrestle in as a kid. You know, I mentioned it last week that my brother was a champ at this tournament, and we took second as a team. And I, as a little kid, I had a team trophy in my basement, a second place trophy of the Medina Invitational that I looked at growing up.
That was the motivation for a long time.
Yeah. And it couldn't have been worse. I couldn't have done worse in my 4 years here. He asked me the other day, he's like, so what, or just a little bit ago, he goes, what was your worst sports injury? And I go, Matt, 3, ACL. Sophomore year, I lifted the leg up, kicked it out. His knee went in the side of mine, and that ended my sophomore season and my baseball career. But it's full of memories. Like I've been coming to this tournament since I was 6 years old.
Wow.
My brother would bring me, and we'd watch guys like Dan Leemaster.
Yeah,
I remember it was
Walsh
televised. The finals were televised back then with Brian Brakeman
that,
on there. And you would watch dudes like Sonny Marchetti and John Marchetti and all those types of guys, the Walsh guys.
Yoshi Nakamura,
Yoshi
versus
Nakamura,
Joe Heskett.
Filthy Joe Heskett. This thing was full of killers. And I remember watching Adam Klaus wrestle at this thing, and the whole crowd boo him like crazy. He was a bad dude, but he wasn't, he wasn't loved by the people. But he relished it.
The people didn't love him.
No,
he was not the people's champ.
But he loved it that way. He was a true heel of high school wrestling, and he wrestled like he had that dog in him.
He had a little bit of that Ferrari in him.
He had that dog in him.
Klaus used to just.
He would tape his arms all the way up to his elbows like a boxer, and he would grind it in your face. And, he was nasty.
He used to come in the Walsh room and just choke me out. Just so he felt better about it. Yeah.
But this tournament was full of guys like that, and you can almost, if you won this tournament, my freshman year, Bill Akir won it, a North Canton. There were 7 state champions in his weight class from like 4 different states. I think COVID made an impact on this tournament.
Okay.
I think that when they missed the year, they missed like 2 years.
I was just going to ask that, yeah.
And last year we went to a tournament that basically the best teams from Brecksville and the best teams from Medina ended up at Ashland.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, that was the toughest one-day tournament I'd ever seen.
Wow.
It was nasty, and I think that, there aren't so many heavy hitters here this year. It's fine.
Yeah, it's lost that element.
You're still going to be a tough kid to place here. But
the crowd is loving it.
Starting to get a little more
big support group actually sitting right in front of the Northwest Indians that have traveled down here to get a chance to see Lucas Nair and Josh Ferris as they wrestle to place in this tournament. That young man from the Ashland Arrows, he got after it right there, and he's got a strong group looking right down on top of him on mat number 1. I guess, if you're not watching this thing on TV, which I don't see any TV cameras, then you've got the Stark Media team. Catch us on the YouTube channel. Jamie Fausnight, John Lowery, TJ Downing. Happy to be riding alongside you here on this Wednesday afternoon, December 28th. Want to wish everybody happy holidays. Hope you had a great Christmas. For those that don't know about the Wauseon Indians, we got one over here on the Consis side. We got one on mat number 2 that you've got eyes on through the Stark Media team YouTube channel. The Wauseon Indians, the red and white, out of Fulton County, head coach Mike Ritter. They were last year in 2019, as Jamie mentioned, a couple years off with COVID. They took second place, still sitting in second place right now, I believe. They are out of the Northwest Ohio Athletic League. They've had 3 state champions and 60 all-time state placers.
Look at that.
Little
Peterson action.
We saw Wauseon, if I'm not mistaken, at that Findlay High School dual meet tournament we went to a couple weeks ago, and they had a great showing. They're definitely a program that takes their wrestling seriously. There's Wauseon kids on multiple mats right now.
I would say in the past, maybe.
It was hard. It was catching me off guard by seeing the Indians across the back. I keep locking in thinking Northwest.
I did that same thing. I did that same thing to you. I was going to say, I thought that was a Northwest kid, but it was Wauseon.
You look at the front of their singlets, and they go with the traditional Indian with the headdress on, where Northwest goes with the arrow and the spear. That's
most teams have multiple singlets too, so it'll curveball you a little bit.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's pretty spot
Not
on
to mention
uniform.
everybody that wanted to get rid of the Washington Redskins, they changed them to the Commanders, but nobody really cares about the high school level. So it really just goes to show you where people's direction and using the media to their advantage. I mean,
right.
Keeping the spirit alive for the Redskins. All right. John, you got some updates coming down here from us, and shout out to the K-Lies, to Wrestle One tournaments, all that they've done for us here at Stark Media, putting us in the driver's seat up at the Iron Man. That was a good time. We were up there. I believe that was the 24th Iron Man. And then to have us right here in the catbird seat looking down over top of all 6 of these mats. Shout out to the K-Lies. Shout out to Wrestle One tournaments. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias that they're on. You can check out their website, wrestle1tournaments.com. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, like, follow, share, spread the word out there so that we can continue to grow. And make sure, as always, you're patronizing our partners, Vallos and Associates. Check them out at 1302 South Main Street, 494-2776 for all your home, auto, life insurance needs. If you're looking for some food this evening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, John, you got the big football games coming up. Make sure you check out our guy at Lindseys Pizza, John Lindsay, over there at the Hillsdale Shopping Center at 2827 Whipple Avenue. Order at lindseys.pizza.com. They're open until 11, 477-3800. Great food, great people. Patronize our friends at Lindseys Pizza. We'll talk more about some of our presenting sponsors on this broadcast as we roll along. But, John, give us some updates on what we're looking at here right now.
All right. So, as you know, we've been talking about Wauseon on mat 2. That's one that we've been paying attention to a lot. The boy in the red from Wauseon is up 4-1. His name is Colin Twig. He's a senior, and he's up against Jake Patulski from Olentangy Lewis Center. That boy's a sophomore, and he's 1 point in the bout.
Olentangy.
Olentangy
Braves coming up here looking good. I'll tell you what, you guys were talking about Mayfield. That young man from Mayfield, he just jumped all over this guy here on mat number 1. He made quick work of him.
That was Vinny D. Alessandro, senior Mayfield, that put in the time there.
There's a good showing of Columbus schools up here. You bring up Olentangy, Upper Arlington, New Lexington. I think
you're about halfway down there.
Yeah. There's a couple of schools that traveled up here for it.
It's a good mix.
Galleon, which is not quite Columbus, but that's a good friend of mine coaches in that program. Him and his brother Matt Terrell. He was at the University of Findlay Roughneck with me.
Ryan Heber.
Yeah,
shout out to Heber.
They have some. There's a lot of good. Everybody that's here knows what this tournament means, so they come here for the tradition, and they know that their kids are going to get pushed.
And then
you also got Hilliard Darby that's made their way up as well.
I guess I didn't see that.
Kind of looking through here the entire rundown.
I should have thought of them when I mentioned Heber. He transferred there from Galleon. Yeah.
Miami East, they've made a little bit of a travel to get here. The Mansfield senior, always called Twigers.
Oh, yeah.
Tigers with the Y.
Don't forget it.
Couple other ones here.
Solon in the second spot right now. They just jumped up. They were.
Don't sleep on
those.
Got
the Westerville North team up here as well.
62 points for Solon. Buckeye got 101 in the team race. That's number 1 spot. But, yeah, Solon jumped over Wauseon.
Depends on if Solon and Buckeye match up in the semis. That's huge. That's where you'll win or lose the tournament right there.
And on mat 1, we got another wrestler from Wauseon, and we got a special guest with us.
Over here. I know that we're going to join here now.
The crew here.
Let us know here what's going on, John. I believe it is. Let me do my math here. Let me get the old computer out. This would be 126 on mat number 2.
That is Frankie Palmisano from Mayfield. He's a junior, and he's against Cohen Becker of Northmore Galleon. We're just talking about them. And they're 126-pound weight class, and they are getting at it. Both guys in a good stance. It's doing a little stance checking out there, putting his hands on the mat, getting that 4-point stance, man. Remind me of
those Carrollton kids do that too. We talked about that last week. Hey, joining us now is Chad Gilmore, the head coach of the Medina Bees. Good friend of mine. Hey, nice win for your son.
Thank you.
When I went over and wished him luck, I didn't know he was wrestling Paxos. I didn't know he had one of my guys. But I mentioned while he was wrestling, I'm like, I know Chad. We go back a long way, and to watch his son grow up on Facebook and stuff like that, to see him at a high school tournament, how excited is the family? How excited is Grandpa? I know he's put some miles into him.
Yeah, he loves it. he's always done our youth with me and grown up through, and now he gets to just kind of personal train little guy, and he does a lot of private stuff in his basement and lifts with them, and he's the first person going over video with him after the match. It's a pretty special thing. 2 weeks ago, we went down to Highland Sparta and my cousin's school, and his son's a freshman. So Tegan was there. So we had both boys wrestling, both grandpas there. So we had 3 generations.
Nice.
It was pretty sweet.
Nice. So these guys just asked me a little bit about the Medina tournament. Tell us your take on, the history of this tournament and what it means to be the head coach at a tournament like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's history is awesome. Some of the big matches that have gone through here is ridiculous. Like I was watching Flo and a documentary on Brett Metcalf, and they had the Medina
Dustin
final
Schlater,
with Dustin Schlater. That was
coached against him that day,
right?
Wow.
I mean, that was a pretty awesome thing to see.
It was
and
an amazing match.
I was just talking to one of my coaches here who took 7th as a senior, and I forget who he lost to first round, but his Consis semi match was Mark Martin.
Oh, wow.
And
Great Bridge.
and it was a 3-2 match, and his dad's yelling at him afterwards, you should have won that match. And Mark goes on to win 3 state titles and wrestled Ohio State,
Right.
That's awesome. Coach, tell us about give us a glimpse in your program. Tell us about who to expect to be really watching today, and maybe what you guys plan on doing down the road towards state.
Yeah, we're pretty young this year. We graduated 8 last year.
Oh, wow.
I got a couple really good juniors and seniors. Andrew Supers is 157 for us right now. He's like 18-0. He put in a good offseason. He kind of missed what he needed to do at districts last year, and all it did was motivate him. And he's been wrestling college kids all summer and fall, and man, he's looking good right now. I got a Blaine Chrisman's a junior, and Evan Hathcock is a junior heavyweight for me, and I'm excited to see what they can do. They're all in the quarters right now. I actually got a kid coming up real quick here, Nick Kaplak. He's a sophomore. He made it to the quarters. He's just wrestling his butt off right now, so that's it's real exciting for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna bounce out real quick.
Hey,
But if you guys want me to stop back, I'd love to keep talking wrestling.
Coach, anytime,
All right.
man. Stop
Thank you,
up.
guys.
Appreciate
Yep,
you.
absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
All right,
right,
so
and
as
then-
we got that 126 down there, John, on mat number 2, I know that coming up immediately after that, I believe we will have a chance to see Lucas Nair. That would be 132. He's going to take on Malachi Sharpley. So I think we're getting close here to seeing a little bit of Stark County flavor. And
Sharpley, and Nair at it, I believe. Yeah, right now, TJ on mat 3.
And I'll tell you what,
okay,
guys,
that's mat 3 down there. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll
I
tell
got
you,
locked in there. The young man I'm looking at there at mat number 2, that's Josh Farrows. Okay,
Yep.
so on mat number 3, you now have Lucas Nair. And boy, I'll tell you what, you talked about the solo
Jeez.
program, Malachi Sharpley. There's only one person that's been able to get after Malachi Sharpley
look at
this
that
year.
offense.
Jeez, look at that head in perfect.
Constant improvement.
Love seeing that.
Yeah, I remember. I've
That-
watched this kid. I know who he is. I think
Shout
his
out
dad's
to,
one of the coaches in the program as well.
Correct. Yep. Shout out to Vinny Diagiovanni, the son of the late coach, the legend, man. Always great to see him.
A minute into this match, Lucas Nair now trailing 9-2. So yeah, you mentioned Malachi, man, boy. Tell you what, his previous match, Tech fought that guy 10-0. That was Jesse Badu out of Buckeye.
Constant pressure, constantly movement. His feet never stop. Little fakes, and he just attacks the whole time. That's what you got to do.
Like the fight
I'll
from
tell you
the
what, yeah.
the
The Northwest kid's
yeah.
bringing it. He's giving it everything he's got.
Oh,
But there's just too much offense for him for this one.
maybe like Bravo Young almost. I
Yeah,
see in this
There
guy,
is
huh?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just with his movement, and if you're just tuned in, you're not familiar. Bravo was
Roman Bravo Young,
Yeah.
RBY.
RBY, a legend in the college scene for Penn State. So
Just makes it look easy.
makes it look
everything look
easy.
effortless.
Look, he threw the boots in, and he's cranking, man. He's not taking us, like you said, constantly trying to score.
Constant pressure.
Well,
yeah.
heading to the second, man, that's not a position Lucas Nair wants to be in, trailing 15-3.
No, yeah, that's a hard act to follow, man.
That's scoring
Sure
in
is.
bunches
Yeah.
right there. That's scoring in bunches.
Well, so if at this point, so you're down 15-3, Jamie, what's the approach if you're there?
I mean, it's just to keep fighting. I'll tell you what, that, you know, I've said it before, like there's certain things that wrestling offers, and no other high school sport, no matter what the score is, you can still win. You know, you can pin the guy at any time. If there's time on the clock, you can still win. If you're down 50 points in a football game with 30 seconds to go, you can't win. You know, this sport teaches you never to quit. You know, I mean, he's on his back now. It's not working out for him. But this match could end at any time. He could still win the match.
Yep, it's a pin. Yeah, that's true. Love that. Yeah, no other sport has that
Absolutely
benefit.
one of my favorite
Huge.
life lessons that wrestling teaches. You know, don't ever stop. You know.
Yeah.
And he never stopped fighting that whole match. He was, you know.
Right. He was fighting the whole time.
Yeah, he brought it. He brought a fight to him. I like to follow him in the Consis.
So-
He's a tough kid.
So you know, with that said, a lot of times you know, you run into somebody
A buzzsaw.
like Malachi there that just will rip your face off. And so would you say though one other aspect of the sport, Jamie, is you versus you factor. It's not it's like that marathon idea. You know, you want to see where you finish. It's not just about beating the other opponents, right?
And realistically, that comes from the training. You know, 90% of these matches were won in the practice rooms, just like Coach Gilmore said. His guy had a great offseason. He's practicing with college kids all summer. You know, these matches are won before they go out on the mat. I said last week, like you have to get yourself out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is just a little bubble that you live in, and the more time you spend out of it, the bigger your comfort zone gets. And I can make the argument that these guys they stretch their comfort zone all season and all off season when two guys put their foot on the line. And if you just want to know which kid has a larger comfort zone, 90% of the time that's the guy who's going to win the match. So these matches are all won in the preparation and things like that. And then you have the 10% where you just got to come out and put it all together. And when you get to a higher level, you know, as these quarters turn into semis and semis turn into finals, it kind of boils down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. You know, it's not even necessarily who blows their offense out. It's who just makes the least amount of mistakes in 6 minutes is the guy who wins.
We're going to get a chance to see Josh Ferris coming up here next, taking on Connor Haney from Medina Highland. And again, we just had a chance to talk to Chad Gilmore. How about a shout out to him and his team as they've started to get a little bit better here. They were conference champions last year. They've had 2 all-time state champs, 24 all-time state placers out of the Greater Cleveland Conference. Last year, we'll check that, back in 2019, the last time we had this tournament, they placed 45th.
He's done a great job with this program. His kids always go super hard. I love Coach Gilmore, and it is a family affair when you get up here to Medina and all the Gilmores are walking around. He's such a good guy. So runs a good, clean program. He's a class act all the time. We got Cooper Westfall coming up on mat 6 over here. He was a tough football player for North
Yes,
End
he
this year
was
as well. Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Hard-nosed kid.
The one thing that really stuck out to me about him was that, you know, Luke Roach was kind of the featured running back throughout the season. And once he got banged up, and I believe it was the week before rivalry week where you're getting ready to take on the Jackson Polar Bears at Robert Fife Stadium.
Yep.
You see here on number 2, Josh Ferris underway against Connor Haney. But Cooper Westfall,
Cooper just threw him to his back there.
Josh Ferris, he's in a fight for his life trying to get out of it. But you mentioned Cooper. Now he's on his back working himself out. You know, Cooper Westfall came in there.
Watching those 2 matches, both kids, the Northwest kid went to his back. Now he's on top. Cooper threw his guy to his back. Now he's on bottom.
It was like mirrored images of each other
over here. Yeah.
You're in the
Cooper got nothing out of that.
You're in that Bruce Lee house of 100 mirrors working against each other. But you know what? Cooper came in there in that ball game against the Jackson Polar Bears, man, and he hadn't really run the rock all year, and he got after it. To me, he was maybe MVP of that game for the Vikings getting a win, 14-7.
He's a hard-nosed kid. He's from a good family, and I tease him because he's not your stereotypical North Canton kid. He's got Akron Springfield blood in him, so there's a little more grit and a little more nastiness in little Cooper
James.
over there. Yeah. I wrestled Bo James.
No,
really? Yeah,
that's cool,
long time ago. And his dad would be happy that I brought that up. His dad coached football at Springfield for a while. He's just a tough kid. He goes super hard. And he'll get nasty. He'll scrap with you. And that's what you see of him on a football field.
You've got a stoppage right now on mat number 2 between Josh Ferris and Cooper Haney. And as we approach the final 10 seconds of round number 1 on mat 6, Cooper Westfall trailing 2-0.
His opponent, Xavier Montani from Genoa.
That's rough that he didn't get any points out of that when he put him on his back. But he hurried it. He stepped over him instead of sitting through and securing the headlock. But, you know, Cooper's explosive. He'll score points.
Finish strong, right?
He needs to get out on bottom. He can't get rode out. He doesn't tend to have the best tank in the third sometimes.
Boy, that's where it gets kind of critical there, man.
Yeah.
Mission critical. You know, who's got the most energy to outlast the other opponent? When you get into that war of attrition where it's back and forth, you're going to distance. Saw a great match last week when we were over there at Canton City Schools between Aiden Mosden from Alliance and Cody Fair from Maslin. Those guys went 3+3.
Yeah.
You know, little extra bonus edition. Now I didn't realize somebody had informed me they had wrestled at Alliance just like 2 weeks earlier, and Aiden Mosden got the better of Cody Fair. So I would doubt if we see that coming down the line again. Those two teams
has a way of doing that to you. The guy who lost the first time, he comes back a little more motivated. The other guy doesn't quite bring his A. It's
that can happen.
Me as a coach is why I'm ready to play. State fan, because I see it in wrestling all the time. If you beat somebody, if you lose to somebody, you rarely see their A game, and you're a little more juiced up the next time you go after them. That's another life lesson that wrestling shows all the time. Just because somebody beats you once, it'll happen probably at this tournament somewhere where somebody lost in the first rounds to somebody, and then in the wrestlebacks they wrestle that guy again and they get him. You know, that happens very common in this sport.
Very common in
Josh Ferris trailing 5-0, a minute remaining in the first as they just get things back underway. Coach Kali out there taking care of the mats. Josh, appreciate him coming up there along with Dave Talarchik, giving us a lot of info on what's going on with the Northwest Indians.
That shout out to Josh Kali out there. Used to see each other a lot, that tournaments, things like that back in the day. Man, it's good to see him out there giving back, helping these kids out. Love that.
Well, Westfall just tied up that match over there with a reversal. That's nice to see.
27 seconds remaining in the second period. He's on top right now, working that back. We'll see what comes down here. Obviously, this is shaping up. 15 seconds remaining to be one that's going to probably go the distance. We'll see what Cooper Westfall is able to do down there on mat number 6. Still 5-0 lead for Cooper Haney.
He's tough on top, so for that guy will probably choose bottom in a tie match to go into the third. I think that's an advantage for us. He's good with that roll through tilt that we've been seeing pop up around here.
A lot of that, yeah. At Cooper Haney, man, he was working that all tournament. I seen him in the.
It's a really good technique, and it's very safe. You're not
go ahead and dial in on a little visual here for those checking out the farthest mat here now, number 6.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He gets that cross wrist. Look out, because he'll hit that. He's going to look for it. 2 hands on that single. He's going to give up the one right there.
Connor is that number 1 seed we mentioned, so got that early lead, 5-0, start of the second period.
Another great program, Medina Highlands Serious Wrestling. They've come a long way too.
Jamie, almost snuck a Peterson in.
Got that half Nelson you were showing me earlier, working that.
It's the first thing you teach somebody. It's the first top move you teach anybody in wrestling.
Yeah, we actually we made it stop by Medina Highland here this afternoon. I started thinking, buddy, GPS.
We got him. He's got him on his back.
He got him stuck. Oh my goodness! Best part of the sport is what just happened.
He gave up 3.
Yep.
So now that should make it 8-5. He got 2 and 3.
Back in it to win it, yeah. You got a minute still.
Turning.
8-4 now, minute 9 remaining in the second period.
All right, Jamie. So
Westfall trailing 6-4.
If you're Ferris right now, you keep trying to rock that pin combo,
I give him. I don't know the kid well, but to my wrestling style, I give him about till 45 seconds. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep him on top right here.
Old Adam Plaus.
Now you get back to your feet.
Plaus was like that on top. He would actually just
bend you right up.
Yeah. end it for you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to attack here. 30 seconds, you're down by 3. You got to make something happen.
15 seconds remaining in the third period, trailing by 2. Cooper Westfall.
Yeah, looks like that's a wrap on Cooper this weekend.
9-6 lead for Connor Haney from Medina Highland over Josh Ferris from
Ferris
Northwest.
is stuck in that quarter Nelson, so he's probably about stuck there for the next 10 seconds.
5 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Way to fight
So
though,
still,
for
you
Ferris.
gotta love the fight, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
only
mean-
the second period. I didn't realize that. I thought we were in the third there.
And
There's
that's
a lot of match left here.
this is the 1 seed, guys. This is So getting some coaching right now
He's
from
got
Coach
his hands on
Kalai.
his hips. He's got some. He's breathing heavy.
Yes.
The Northwest
You know-
kid looks substantially bigger. Look how big he looks.
So-
compared to him.
Jim always emphasizes how important it is to hustle back to the center, and
Yeah.
I mean that as a coach and a wrestler, you feel the same way about that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's little things, you know, like to associate with like a football team. You know, when you broke the huddle at Ohio State,
Get to
did
the
you guys
line,
walk-
baby.
Did you guys walk out there and get down and get ready? No, it's the same thing. You send a message when you go out of bounds and you beat him back to the center. You know, all of a sudden you do that 3 or 4 times and he starts to think, well, this guy wants it more than I do. You know, and then all of a sudden he starts to doubt himself. And you feed off of that energy you give yourself by beating him back to the center. It's like a little bit of the gamesmanship of it.
It's a momentum. Yeah.
Either
My
that or
kids
I
if you,
agree.
if you walk back a little slower, it gives you a little extra time to talk some smack.
Yeah, there ain't time for that.
Update us here on, not this sport, man. I'll tell you what, you're saving all the wind you can get. Screw the talking, right? Hey, update us here on mat number 5. I believe that is Abram Lazarus.
All right, so on mat 5, yes, you're correct. We got Abram Lazarus from Northwest Canal Fulton, freshman, up against Cameron Williams from the Firelands, also a freshman. And we got
Williams just took a 4-2 lead heading to the
Yeah.
second period. And it looks like with 51 seconds remaining, Josh Ferris is trailing 11 to 6.
David not happy over there.
So Ferris is going to work out from bottom. Again, 51 seconds remaining in the third period, trailing by 5.
He's got to get one here. He can't wait around. Got to
Connor
create
Haney,
action.
ranked
Gotta
number
create
1.
action.
That's 138 pounds.
Might be able to look for that Peterson
there it
again.
is again.
You
Yeah.
gotta switch to the other leg.
Yeah,
There it goes.
there it is.
There it is. He's going to get it.
Keep going, buddy.
Keep moving your feet. Keep circling with your feet.
Yeah.
Now he's reaching for the head.
Yeah.
That's no good. You don't need that.
No, he's scooping up
Yeah,
Jamie.
He's
He's
in trouble. He's on his
Yeah.
back now.
from our vantage point. I don't know if when you're out there, you don't see what we see, but that Haney did a good job scooping up that arm.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
he reached for his head, that all went south on him. Just need to keep that wrist.
So
up
and
against
then
your
the
belly.
idea is when you reach under to grab that leg, is you meant you keep circling back with it, spinning
Keep
around, and
circling
it kind
your
of
feet, and
naturally
then
rolls you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So another tight one here as Abram Lazarus trailing 4-3. There's a minute 43 remaining in period number 2. For those watching on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel, if you're looking at the 2 farthest mats through the camera, to the left is mat number 6. To the right is mat number 3. So work your way down as Abram Lazarus to the right. Check that to the left. Mat number 5 in the middle. And just finishing up on mat number 2 in the middle to the right, Josh Ferris fell to the number 1, Connor Haney. Another cool little backstory here on Abram Lazarus. His old man, quite a football player up there with the Michigan Wolverines, was a defensive tackle. I never had a chance to face off against him. Was still just a scout team player at the time. But I'll tell you what, he was a guy, and I know he's kind of coached a little bit over there with the Indians through the football team. Was on Coach Joe Harbor's staff. Rest in peace, Joe Harbor. Shout out to your family. Prayers lost him a little bit too soon, but Lazarus was a guy you could just tell that for his son being a freshman, probably some of that physical stuff,
Right.
some football player trench grittiness, probably going to rub off on him. You can imagine there in the evening time when commercial comes on during the movie, he's like, okay, line up, let's go. Start head slapping him.
We got Christian Friedel
Get on the
down
line.
here on mat 4. Just gave up a takedown, got a quick escape.
Coach Brian Bob was really kind of glowing about him, man. He said
He's a good kid.
he's a guy that just works. Good kid, as you mentioned, gets after it, does all the things right.
Keep it simple for Christian.
Taking on a Medina Highland Hornet.
When the mouse on the wheel and his head gets running too fast, you got to slow Christian Friel down. But he will attack and he will go hard. He'll grit his teeth and bring it every time. But you got to keep it simple for Christian. You can't overcomplicate things for him. I love him to death.
Unfortunately, here heading to the third, just as the second period ended, Lazarus gives up 2 points. He's going to trail 7-5 to Williams. John, remind me where he's out of.
Looks like Wasion.
He's a Wasion.
I'm not positive.
Firelands, the guy he's from Firelands.
Yeah, he's Firelands. That's correct.
And it looks like Christian Friel is tied up with a $1:38 remaining in the second period, 2-2 with the young man from the Medina Highland Hornets. Do we know a name on this guy from Medina Highland?
Yeah, it's Joey Zurich. He's a senior, and
The Zurichs of Switzerland.
Here's Alex Bosky getting ready to start here on mat 1.
There we
and
go.
I'll tell you what, he's a funky dude. He's hard to wrestle.
Got a great stance. Way to start out the
where
match
he
with that
scrambles.
shot.
This is where he's dangerous.
So we're gonna go ahead and
that's your
dial
stuff
this in
right
for
there,
you.
Jamie.
To get you a good
Now
look.
watch out. This is where he's dangerous. Here comes that Peterson.
There it comes. Keep that elbow, right?
He's dangerous. This kid's a strong
Still got
kid.
the
You
elbow.
can tell, yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube right now, this is mat number 1. That is Alex Bosky, the 150-pounder.
There he is back in
There you
there.
The
Get your two.
quarterfinals.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get that cross.
Bosky
wrist.
with
Go
the
to work
lead.
now.
3-2. And just like
He's got a really nice tilt. He's got a good
nice
tilt.
tilt. Look at that.
Back on top.
So the
Forgive me if I get coachy during this.
so the
Coach him up, coach.
Wow.
Coach him up.
bottom guy just
We did make
reversed.
eye contact there for a
I
second.
saw that. Yeah. He saw
Yeah,
you.
I'm one of his favorites. He does like when I give my 2 cents.
Gotta get him like a little.
Alex Bosky playing favorites.
You gotta get him a little.
Third string quarterback
Air
for the
Bud.
Hoover football team, by the
No
way.
way.
No
Okay.
way.
All right. Well, you know what? I
He's-
believe it was just about a year ago. I think Coach had to dig in there a little bit deeper and eventually would find Carson Derlin, who's a pretty talented quarterback.
Alex will play defense before he's ever a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
hates-
he's
He hates it when I give him that honesty, but that's the truth.
but as you mentioned, Jamie, I mean, kind of like Friel, kind of like some guys. I see that Brady Sullivan is still not back yet. Don't see him with the heavies, but even though we thought maybe he might even drop some weight to come down, but still, one of those guys that with that skill set, with the wrestling background, the talent, obviously, to be in it at a tournament like this, that's gonna translate
That's
over
where he's dangerous.
somewhere on the
He's
football
dangerous.
field.
No, I agree. Yeah, you're gonna see.
Yeah,
5 seconds remain for
It-
Lazarus. He's trailing by 1.
it absolutely translates to football. It's a grind, and it's a different kind of grind that these guys go through. Football is easy, like the training and practice and stuff. Like for us, it was like so fun. Like practice was fun, and I'd look at the other guys running sprints, half ready to
Ooh.
die, and I'm like,
Should that spladle.
I ate dinner yesterday. This is not hard. You know? You know?
I just had
You
some
guys
pork chops
don't
and mashed
get it.
potatoes.
Yeah, Splato on that too.
Too. Check this out.
Keep
Yeah,
that offense going.
that's
How about mat number 4 over here as well? Shout out to Christian Friel, leading 9-2 with a minute remaining in the third period.
Alex has his work cut out. This is a 5th-ranked kid, and I think the scouting report's out on him. He's not wrestling very much on the mat with him. A lot of guys will tend to stay away from having Alex on the mat.
Hutton Martin. Yeah, he's a senior now from Beaver Creek.
Very solid.
Very solid. Yeah.
If you're sloppy with Alex, you're going into deep water with him. And this kid's minding his P's and Q's, like I said a minute ago.
Trailing 9-4. Minute 19 remaining in the second period. And over here, about 50 seconds remain. And Friel now out 11-2.
Still only a 4-point match here, and Alex gets 5-point moves in weird spots. Right like that. Right like that. He lost the wrist. Get that wrist again. He's funky, man. He's funky.
I like it. I like the funk, the rolls. He catches those elbows too and wrists.
Yeah. He's He's exciting and fun to watch as anybody. I mentioned before, he's an excellent student. You know, wrestling will not define Alex Bosky one day. He's, you know, in all AP classes, straight A student.
That's good. Yeah, that's numero uno. I think, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, they're athletes out here, but at the end of the day, they're student athletes, and keeping on that, that's why, you know.
So victory for Friel.
We're here to
He's
begin.
in 11-2.
All right.
Great action. Sorry.
Live action.
I forget I have the headphones on every once in a while.
Live action. Thought we were going to see the Turtle Man pop out.
How about Jamie was going to – I was ready to grab you, man.
We can't sit still. We got to create action. We're good in the scramble, so we can't sit there and, you know.
He is great. He's great in the scramble. You know what I like?
He don't want anything to do with
he's very comfortable when he's in that scramble.
Just keep wrestling.
Very comfortable. He looked up just now for your coaching.
Great scrambles. That's what he needs to do.
Yep.
This is where he's dangerous.
Third period, 11-7. He's trailing. $150s down there on mat 1. 13-7 now. Nice turnout here. A lot of fans filling out, standing around the outside, filling up here on Media Row.
Here we go. Here we go.
There it is.
He keeps losing the wrist. The guy knows it's coming.
Yeah.
When you know it's coming, it's a little easier to defend. But
well, here's the good news on track wrestling. If you're watching this match on there, Bosky's winning 13-7. They have the score mixed up.
That's the good news.
That's the good
Bad
news.
news is it's not.
That's what he can tell the girls when he's to school on Monday.
Screenshot that. Yeah.
For all of you following me on track.
Yeah. All the guys will be like, but you have the red anklet on. You're fine. Just keep wrestling.
Minute 5 remaining. 5-point match.
Still a lot could happen,
13-8.
especially with the way he.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. The way I've been
that's
seeing
what
him.
happened in the last one, I'm telling you.
I love it. Yeah, that's
that guy's
like that
super
approach.
Nice with
Man.
that cross drag. He's
Yeah.
just slick, man. This is a top tier wrestler. I said he was ranked. I think he's ranked number 2 in. I think Beaver Creek is Division 2.
They're Division 2. That's
Yeah,
correct.
he's ranked number 5 in Division 2.
Yep. Yeah, he's really good about his control, man, and keeping pressure. His angles too. He you know.
Kid, yeah.
I guess
directions well. Solid kid. Look at him.
I heard you talking earlier to one of your wrestlers. I believe it was your boy. Even you're talking about setting stuff up, creating those angles. How important that is.
It's super easy, you know, to take a guy down that's just standing flat-footed right in front of you. You know, you have to make him move. You have to make him guess. You can't just stand in front of somebody and shoot. You have to fake. You have to get him off balance. You know, you can't let him set his feet, or it's easy for him to shoot.
Watching for them to lean back on those heels, huh?
That's what I hollered at Alex. You got to create action. You know, you don't have to really put yourself in any real risk, but you gotta make him move.
Right. Yeah. Set that up. The setup's just as important as actually finishing that move.
Right.
5 seconds remain here, trailing by 7. So that's going to be a wrap for Bosky. But
hey,
that's all right. He's a dangerous dude coming through the Consis, man.
No doubt.
Look
you
out!
Just need to get him to place. I'd say last week he was very sick. He didn't wrestle very well. So it's nice to see him go a solid match. Just come back and wrestle.
Solid, yeah. I agree, Jamie. I think he's gonna come back and wrestle through this, get the placement there.
That was a tough kid. He already beat the real hammer. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, that's one we might see again.
Right.
We might have to do that one again.
Like you were talking earlier,
exactly.
yeah.
That guy is not going to be happy with Alex Bosky. There is something about Alex Bosky that he's pretty punchable. The guys really don't like to wrestle him. You know, he really frustrates really good guys, and they get angry at him.
You start getting frustrated. You stop about your strategy, your tactics, your game plan, and you love. I've always loved seeing that, man, because that was kind of the style that I played sports with. Was like, you know, let's see if we can use mental warfare. Let's see if we can, let's see if we can get this guy out of what he's supposed to be thinking about and really take advantage of somebody, impose your will upon them. We're gonna keep our eyes on him as The young man Alex Bosky at 150 continues to roll through. Let's give a quick shout out here to a couple of our sponsors that make this broadcast on the Start Media Team YouTube channel possible. Our friends at McNeill and Sons Tree Service, located in the Portage Lakes. They are fast, reliable, and affordable. They'll leave your property in better shape than it was before, so don't lose or don't let those trees that are out of reach get too close to your home. And auto, contact the professionals at McNeill and Sons and ask for Tom at 330-606-1126 or get a free quote, and they'll consult you on your tree health and help your property maintain its integrity. And our friends over at Hilscher-Clarke Electric Company, locations all over Ohio. Call them at 330-452-9806 if you're looking for employment. Stop down and see them at 519 4th Street Northwest in downtown Canton. Hilscher-Clarke, a local Stark County electrical contractor with more than 100 years of experience in the industrial, commercial, residential, and specialty markets. Offices throughout Ohio, but have the capability to handle out-of-state work as well. One of the rare electrical contractors that perform a range of services from testing and data to design and engineering. Functions typically handled by subcontractors, and at their core, Hilscher-Clarke lives to do first things first. That's faith, integrity, respect, selfless, and team. Those are core values that aren't just words to them. They define who they are and how they conduct themselves every day. Check out HilscherClarke.com.
Qualities of a wrestler there.
There you go, man. Yep. Got to have your core values.
Yep. Speaking
Most
of that,
of the
right
guys
there
who
on
can stick to those goals.
over on mat 2 in that quarterfinal, that's for 150 pound. That's Creed Hill from Medina Highland there. He's up, or he's actually down 3-10 to Andrew Davis from Westerville North. And if you go up to mat 3, that's Hayden Jarvis, Cloverleaf. He's down 1-7 to Benicio Torres from Wasion.
They're all over the place. Those
Yeah.
Wasion dudes.
I've been watching this Torres kid just, look at that angle he just
Just
created with that elbow
solid
pass.
stance,
Yeah.
nice little elbow pass to the angle.
There it is again.
He's
Yeah.
kind of stalling at this point, but
Yep.
you can tell he uses that well.
All right, over there on mat 6, we got Upper Arlington, and I believe that's Mayfield. Is that Mayfield, Jamie?
I don't think that's Mayfield.
No. Hold on, let me see what it says here. Oh, it's Delta. That's Cass
Delta.
Chisa from Delta versus Luke Stricker from Upper Arlington.
Delta's a program that shows up from time to time. All of a sudden they're in the race for a D3 title.
That's a D3 powerhouse. Yeah. No, you're right about that.
They'll definitely show up.
Yeah.
And it's funny. They're one of those schools like Clyde, like back in the day, where they would have like a whole section at the state tournament. When their kids won, you just see, an explosion out of the shot seed center and things like that.
They had the whole community come down and support them on it.
Those
It was a big
schools,
deal.
Yeah, it's cool. When they know they're going to make a run for it, they show up in droves.
Everybody shows up. Everybody's part of the program.
Awesome.
And yeah, I love seeing that. All right, and then back over to mat 3. We got Vinny Malgaron from Upper Arlington against Nolan Martin. That's the 150-pound matchup there for the quarterfinals. And those guys just started getting at it. Yeah. So I'm looking around and right now, Upper Arlington boy got a 2-on-1 there. Past 3 weeks, Ironman, North Canton Holiday, today, I feel like don't see a lot as much as that as we used to from back, even back in my day, and maybe probably even more so for yours.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, who was amazing at it just recently was like some of Coach D. Giovanni's last few Solon teams.
Yeah, okay.
Filthy 2-on-1. And they would climb that elbow. They would come up here instead of just staying at the wrist.
I like that, yeah.
And, they were nasty with it. And I watched them here a couple of times run it. Every kid on the team could do it. And it's funny, like, things like that go with, like, the coaching.
Right.
If you have a coach that's all about the 2-on-1 or the elbow pass or, those things, you can kind of tell, you'll see the whole team do it. And you're right. I don't see as much 2-on-1 anymore. I used to teach that a lot of times to my underclassmen that were wrestling in a grown man weight like 160.
Oh, yeah.
You pull off that 2-on-1, you can slow the match down. shorten the match time when you take
Control,
30
yeah.
seconds away from the guy by holding on to a 2-on-1.
Absolutely.
You shorten that 6-minute match. And that way he's not scoring, and you put yourself in position to win. You know, I always tell my kids, if you lose by 4, you lost. You were within firing distance.
Right.
Move away. You know, it's not that bad of a scenario. You know, go out with a hail of bullets. You know, and a 2-on-1 is a nice thing to show those younger guys that need to slow that match down and keep that match a little tighter.
Oh, you know what? It's a control thing too. You like you're saying, you can control that clock with it.
Yeah.
You can,
and you can be extremely offensive with it.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great way to control your opponent. That's for sure. Yeah, it
takes some of his offense away too.
Yeah, I feel like guys are shying away from the tie up at all. You know, in general, there's a lot of focus on more of just hand fighting, and then kind of like that we talked about one time, the Iron Eagle approach. You know, you back off them, and then boom, strike like lightning.
Right.
Yeah. So, oh, look at that little knee pick action. I haven't seen one of those for 3 weeks. Knee pick.
Oh, I didn't see it. Like the inside knee pick.
Yeah, he missed it, but he went for it.
I love it.
Yeah, the boy over there from Buckeye, Nolan Martin. He had a nice Clinton guy. Oh,
single.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice, kicked out of it. It's a
love
battle.
that.
2-2.
2-2.
1 to go in the second.
Arlington coming back, control. You see that? He went right for that 2-on-1. He's trying tapping the head a little bit.
You don't want him to do that shot.
Oh yeah, you want to slow him down there.
You need to sprawl.
You guys doing okay?
Yes,
Doing
yes,
good.
yes.
Thank you. Always checking in on us. Good people here at Medina High School. The 46 Medina Invitational Tournament. M.I.T, Jamie Fausnight, John Lowery, TJ Downing here with you. We'll be back with you again tomorrow as we get you through the semis and we get you into the finals. Right now, you're looking in on the quarterfinals. As you look through the camera on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel, from bottom working up, you have number 1 all the way down or up to number 2 and Matt number 3. Oh, we don't. Yeah, that's put a headset on there for us.
All right, we are blessed with greatness again at Stark. We have the Medina Invitational Tournament Director with us. And you want to introduce yourself a little bit more?
I'm Lynn Hoteling. I've been doing this a long time, over 30 years. So this is our 46th edition.
Wow.
Oh, it's been exciting to be able to get back to wrestling on these mats.
So let me ask you a question. We were talking about this earlier. As far as you said you've been doing this for years. So tell us a little bit about the history of this tournament and where it's gotten to now.
My brother-in-law, Jim Hoteling, founded the tournament in 1975. Wanted to profile the kids in Medina County, and especially here at Medina High School. He felt that we needed to profile our wrestlers in Ohio, especially.
Milkovich.
First
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
First 4.
Well, I got some more questions for you.
Toughest weight class that you've seen in the history of this tournament?
It's usually been a middleweight.
Okay.
We've had the Schladers, we've had
Talked
the
about that earlier.
Dernlands.
Oh yeah, the Dern.
Oh, I love the
Marchetti match was.
Oh, yeah.
I remember a match that this place was packed out. We were ranked number 1 in the nation
Wow.
that year. I can't remember what year. I have to go home and look.
Yeah.
But it was
Probably
just
like
amazing.
mid-90s maybe?
It was the 90s.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that'd have been like Marchetti team from
Yeah.
Walsh. And,
I
It was Walsh,
yeah,
Perry.
St. Ed's, Perry, yep.
St. Ed's. It was amazing.
I was mentioning to him earlier that when I was a freshman in high school, Bill LaCure was one of my teammates. He was
I love
two-time
Billy.
state champ, and he had 7 state champions in his weight class. A kid from New Orleans came up, if you remember.
Oh, Jesuit, yeah.
Wheeling
Oh,
Jesuit.
I heard about those
They
guys.
came up
Yeah.
for Billy. They came up for that rematch because that was the only match that kid lost in like 2 years. Was Billy at Medina the year before. But I mean, my favorite one was the Metcalf Schlater match. I remember coming here. I was sitting with Sean
Oh,
Nelson.
that
watching.
was amazing.
That was crazy.
That was actually featured on Flow Wrestling today.
Oh,
So,
Oh, wow, that's
Yes.
awesome.
yeah, because they knew that you guys were live today. Yep. So
Yeah, that's exciting.
yeah,
That's exciting.
You guys are still on the map, man.
Hey, it's the
A shout out
that's
to him and his family.
So yeah, we're gonna honor him tomorrow morning. I'm gonna do a little tribute in honor of
We've
Vince.
lost some great officials in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, we have.
Denny Mahaley and
I still miss Sandy.
Russ Brode, Sandy.
And Russ was one of my brothers.
One of
Oh
my
my gosh,
favorite people
I
ever.
miss him terribly.
They're another great aspect of our sport. Those officials are a brotherhood. They're good friends of mine. I actually take them out at Friday night of the holiday tournament. And,
I remember that. Yeah,
I take them out to a local bar, and I make sure that they have a good time and come back ready to go with their game faces on the next day.
You told, I remember you invited me. Yeah, I remember
I did.
that.
You missed out. It's a good
I
time.
did miss out. Yeah.
Tailing joining us here for the 46th annual M.I.T. tournament here at Medina, the tournament director. Okay, could be 48, right? But we had to hit pause because of COVID.
Yeah,
Tell me,
it would have been. Yeah, it would have been like the 48th if COVID wouldn't have reared its ugly head.
how great does it feel to see these stands packed and to see the action that's going on now?
Nice.
Get back
and
to
to
it.
see the wrestling family and make also new friends, like
Right.
our Clarkston team from Michigan. What a nice group.
Nice group. I was
Nice
talking
group.
with their coaches earlier. Yeah, great group of people.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, talk about the what it takes for a Michigan team to come to a tournament like this, because we hosted Holt, Michigan at our tournament.
Yes, they do.
Like Michigan, if a Michigan team comes to a tournament, they explain like the rules on how nobody can come that's further from them.
Yeah, well, it also has to be, if it's a contiguous state, like we have a wrestler here from Indiana, we can do that. But yeah, they've got some funky rules. They have funky weight classes. Like I know at their state tournament, they can enter more than one kid.
In an individual title.
When I was looking
and then
for
one
the
guy
brackets.
is a point scorer, for the team. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, well, NAI used to have that
Right,
approach
right.
to the tournament.
Yeah,
national
that's true.
tournament. Yeah.
But that's it's because the Holt team, I've tried to get other teams to come, and what it is like Holt can come to North Canton, but another team can't travel further than them, or they are not allowed to come.
I know.
Really bizarre rules.
It's really weird. It's really weird.
Lynn, I believe 39 total teams
Yes.
have entered in. Now you
We're
mentioned,
actually with our Brownsburg, Indiana young man, it'll be 40.
okay. So he's out of Brownsburg, Indiana.
Yep.
So out-of-state teams then?
We have Clarkston and then the Brownsburg young man. The rest of his team is up at Brecksville
Okay.
because
Is that the coach that popped in and asked if he could bring his team
Yep,
in to watch him wrestle in the quarters?
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's exciting that he's doing well here too. Because they're so loaded for Brownsburg, Indiana that he can't crack the lineup, but he's going to rip up down here.
Okay.
So I'm real happy for him.
Well, Indiana does the one division state tournament.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah. Imagine doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I do my research over the years, and when I'm looking at the different teams.
Well, let me ask you this: you've been directing this tournament for years. Where do you see right now that they're saying the fastest growing sport in the United States of America is women's wrestling? Do you see maybe a future here at Medina for
I
a
was thinking,
women's tournament?
yeah, well, we will see. It would be nice to see maybe a division that we could have, like a girls division, and invite X number of teams so they can participate in this. I haven't explored that yet.
You really did move fast, and we're way ahead of schedule. You almost could devote one mat to a girls tournament. I don't know. It would be probably pretty tough.
Well, we just had our first girls placer back. Let me think, when Olivia won her matches. She ended up becoming two-time girls state champ, and then she was national champion this year for Tiffin University.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm fans of all her brothers too. She's one of those big wrestling families from down at Miami East.
Love seeing that. Love seeing that.
So
we're
just a big family.
Very cool.
Lynn, give us an idea of the schedule tomorrow. We're going to be back up here, but we know that kicking back into this second day action, you'll have your finals, but then talk about also that special moment that mentioned to be able to talk about Vince Matucci.
Yeah, we're going to start with Consis at 9. That'll take about an hour. I'm not sure exactly on semis. I have to just consult with my computer staff. Because we ran so fast, we ran an extra round today.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So sort of pre-court. We're talking about maybe 3 o'clock for the finals, but we have to see how everything else fits in with that. We run 7 and 8 with the last blood, for 3rd and 5th.
Right, for
And
the
then we'll
blood
run,
round, yeah.
Then we'll run 1 through 6 for the finals, of course.
Love it. All
And
right.
no break?
Oh, we'll have a break.
Okay.
Because
So it'll be like 6
we'll have
o'clock
to break down to 3 mats.
Yeah, because I thought you said 3. Or you think you can do it by 3?
We should be able
Okay.
to.
Cool.
She's like, I don't need a break, man.
Well, that's becoming a thing, and I think that our tournament may go without a break before finals next year. They said that I think Wasion does that. Is they run it like they just run right through. They have the championship mats, and the kids go right into another room. They do the podium stuff, and it runs right through. That way, teams don't have to travel back at 10 o'clock at night.
Question for you: does it go to 3 mats for the finals?
Yes,
then?
yes, it does.
All
yeah,
right.
like I said, we run 7 and 8 with the earlier rounds.
Okay, during that
So,
that blood round.
but then
time. Yep.
the podium will be up in the hallway. We present them in here, and then they come up. They do like state, go up and get on
cool.
the podium.
I like that.
Up
Yeah.
with the Rudis people. So
I remember
Rudis
you guys
has been
walked in
very
every place. I remember when you
Okay.
guys
is a good partner.
Shout out to
remember
Rudis.
you guys walked
Jesse
in every
Lang
place or across the
from
map
Highland Medina.
for the podium. I used to love that.
Shout out to Jesse Lang.
That's
from
the first.
Highland Medina.
Oh,
That's the
hey,
first thing we said as we pulled in today.
Jesse was my old North Akron kind of a teammate. He'd come in the room and just beat the daylight out of me and everybody else.
Well,
and then
my husband was Jesse's gym teacher in elementary school.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And I was I was there for both state titles.
Oh, okay. Yep.
At state, so he's very beloved in my household.
He used to bring his buddy with him, Phil Lazar. I don't know if
I remember Phil.
You know Phil? Yeah.
I remember Phil.
Small world. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Phil used to also. After I get whooped by Jesse, then Phil would rip my face off. So
30 plus years as director of this tournament.
wow,
Wow,
30 years. So
great job, Lynn. Great job.
Out of 30 years, is there if you could pinpoint or name one specific wrestler or match that stuck out to you, what would that be?
Oh well, of course Slater.
Okay.
Slater Metcalf, that was amazing.
Right. Anything Metcalf and Slater.
Derlin Marchetti match was crazy.
Oh, Westerville North, doggone it.
Westerville
3-time state champ.
Okay. Yep.
He would fold the kids like a book.
Grant?
Yeah. No.
Little muscle-headed guy.
No, not Grant. Oh shoot. And I have pictures of him folding up the wrestlers like a book. And I feel bad because he's very beloved by me too. But I'm old.
Jim Bostic calls that move the accordion.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Westerville North, 6 all-time state champions out of the Ohio Capital Conference. You mentioned Grant, head coach David Grant.
Yeah.
30 all-time placers. So, Jamie mentioned earlier, great to have a strong Central Ohio contingent up here as well.
Yeah, well, we've had a nice contingent that have been very loyal to coming back to the tournament. We've had Darby a number of years.
That's right.
Yep.
Originally Hilliard, and then Hilliard Davidson, and then when Darby opens, still never had Bradley though.
Shout out to Bradley. Get over here.
Well, good coach there. Again, wrestling family.
It is, yeah. We talk about that a lot on here. We talk about the community of it, the network. It's a really almost like fraternal group of people.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
And you can see that when you come into these tournaments and you see the gym packed and you see the response and everybody getting into it. We mentioned the strong support from Canal Fulton, the Northwest Indians traveling up here over in this right corner. And yeah, it's great to be back here. We want to thank you for having us up here. Lynn Hoteling, appreciate everything that you've done for this tournament, the 46 M.I.T. Medina Invitational Tournament. And again, we look forward to coming back tomorrow and seeing who might win this whole thing. We talked about some team scores coming into the quarters. The Buckeye Bucks, 81.5 points.
I would be thrilled.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Because, I've watched a lot of those boys grow up.
Oh, really?
Because with Medina County is my county, and I support all the boys in this county.
Now the Bucks are about 5 to 10 miles to the west of here. Okay.
Yes.
Surprised we didn't end up driving there too today, TJ.
Yeah, we made a pit stop. We got off track and went to Medina Highland. instead of making our way over here. But we got a chance to talk about Jesse Lang and my boy Mike Kudla. Played ball down there with me at Ohio State.
Again, it's another Pete Hoteling, my husband connection. Mike
Oh, yeah.
Kudla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. May he rest in peace. I
Yes.
love Mike.
R.I.P.
We
Yep.
loved Mike.
Was strong as an ox, man. I'll tell you what, when we saw him put 510 pounds on the bench press and go after it, and he would do 405 with 4 plates on each side like it was nothing, reps of 10. You know, and he would tell us, hey, in the summer times, all we did up here was we took those forks, boom. And he goes,
Pete
that's
called him the
strength from
monster
right
of the
there.
Midway.
He has the bear crushing story, right? He took on the bear at the county fair.
No, that was Dick Shafrath, the mule.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
Chef.
Another one that we just lost. I believe one day decided to take a jog from Columbus up to Cleveland and just kept running up the interstate, never stopped. And one of those guys like he swam across the English Channel or something, just for the fun of it, just for the challenge.
That's awesome.
Well, and we know you got a lot of stuff to do here as director of the tournament. So we want to again thank you for joining us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Thank you for having us. Shout out to Wrestle One Tournaments. Shout out to Rudis. Everything, all of your partners who have come on here. If there's anybody else that you would like to mention that have really been
big time.
instrumental in this.
Right over here to our left is the North Gateway Tire family.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Daryl and Joyce and their family. Their grandson Creed is actually wrestled into the semifinals.
Awesome. Nice. Shout out to him then too.
Yeah, for Highland.
Okay.
They've been a very loyal partner, along with RCO Sales and George Brown, and Pepsi's helped us out a little bit, and of course Rudis.
Right,
tell us again, Daryl Joyce's grandson.
His name's Creed Hill.
Okay, Creed Hill. We'll keep our eye on.
Keep our eye on Creed Hill.
Yeah, he just
we got a bunch of looks just now.
He just texted this kid.
There's some bad dudes on that Highland team.
I was over there all.
Bad dudes on that Highland.
Well, my husband coached his dad.
Back
in the day.
Well, that's like a Jamie Fausnight story. He passed generations of wrestlers over here today. Very cool. Well, of course, the K-Lies that are run the.
We've been friends a long time. I've been in all their boys' corners.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. So I remember, I first got here and I look over down the table and I see Mrs. Kayla, I see Chris, I see Josh down there coaching. I'm like, I remember, youth wrestling tournaments on Sunday and seeing them. Same thing. It was like, just the wheel keeps turning.
It does.
It's cool to see that. Yeah.
We got Coach Kayla coaching the Northwest kid here on Mat 5 right now.
All right.
Yeah, that's Joshy.
Shout out to Joshy.
Yeah. Next time we get a chance to see, I didn't have this information when we did our first episode of In the Room with Jim Bostic, and we had a chance to talk to Josh. Wish we would have known that info. We could have called him Joshy and see what type of response we would have got out of him.
He probably would hurt me, but that's okay.
He'd wrestle you.
Double leg.
I got one of my boys down here on the mat right now. I'm all excited.
Oh, where that? What's one?
Right down here, Blaine Chrisman from Medina.
Okay. Oh, Chrisman. I remember the Chrisman that was in the state finals.
Yeah, that's Brady. That's his oldest brother. Then Blake almost made it to state.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he made a nice run at the state tournament. Yeah.
I was so proud
at 170, right?
And then he wrestled for my alma mater, Kent State.
Oh, that is awesome. Golden Flashes.
Yeah,
all
Golden
right.
Flashes. My husband was a standout for them back in the 70s.
Wow, small world then.
Yeah.
There it is. The Wrestling Network, man, the fraternal.
So Blaine Chrisman, he's out to a 2-0 lead right now. $1:15 remaining here in the first period.
He runs that bar half.
135 pounds.
He's back on that arm bar again. He's about to run it over his head.
Yeah, as soon as he steps over,
there's
it's
that
over.
half. He's nasty with this.
Boy, he's yanking on him.
He's got to step over there. The stack, and that's a pin. That's a pin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Filthy.
So Lynn jumps on the microphone, does a little dance here behind us, and it's life's good.
Very proud of him.
We should have got that for TikTok. That dance.
Commemorate the moment.
Yeah. Stark Media TikTok page.
Yeah,
I have so many of these boys I have gotten to know over the years, and I just love them. And a bunch of them are coaches too.
That's cool.
It's like, again, family and fraternity.
Woo. Right. Yep.
Wow.
All right. So, Lindy, you've been obviously involved in sport you've been in the sport for a while enough to, at this point, I'm sure you got a favorite move, or what's your favorite pin combo? Or
I
favorite
like when
thing
they
you
stack
see?
them up.
Just like you did there. Okay, yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That's a guaranteed pin.
I just saw one on Facebook. The kid flipped over his opponent, rolled over his back, and then went behind him for the takedown.
I think I saw that too.
I seen
Did
that
you
too.
see
Yeah,
that?
I
And
saw
that
that
was
too.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think
was
that
nuts.
was one of those.
And Jamie mentioned that earlier that you always tell your guys. I mean, if you're down by 4, you're within striking distance, right? Because you can pull those combo moves like that and put together a 5-point move.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're within firing distance. You can close that gap easily.
Easy. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take off down here, guys, because we're getting towards the end.
We'll come
for
back
today.
and see us later. Yeah.
Lynn
Absolutely,
Tailing,
yeah.
Right.
we will
It's
see
an
you
honor
again
to
tomorrow.
have you guys here.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us, and we
yeah.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
all
you
you
for-
do, not just for the MIT,
Well-
but for the sport of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Watching
Well-
all the stars of the show.
Yep,
Right.
no doubt about it.
Well,
The greatest show in wrestling,
and let
right
your
here.
friends and family know about the Stark Media,
yes,
because
Stark Media on YouTube.
free. They can watch their family members for free from their home. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate all you do,
Yep.
Lynn. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
All right, Lynn Tailing, 30-plus years as tournament director
John Walsh,
here at
right?
MIT.
Walsh.
Oh, wow.
Did
And,
I
yep.
forget?
And she remembers John now. Who doesn't remember John?
She called me out when I got here.
Hey,
She knew who
listen,
I was, too.
I got two legends rolling alongside me here, man. Jamie Fausnight and John Lowery, the North Canton Hoover Vikings, Lost Judgment Warriors. I mean, people know
me.
you guys,
People
man.
know me, but it's not always for the right reasons.
Yeah, I've been down that road before. All right, as Lynn mentioned, some of her special sponsors that have helped move this tournament forward on a yearly basis. We want to give a shout out as we get ready to update you on some of the action going on here now. We've moved into 175 pounds.
Ooh,
Up
watch that
next
knee down
will
there.
be 190, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our good friends at the Leatherneck Nation MC. Our guy Tim Arnold is actually down at Wheeling right now. Those Wheeling duels, we'll be able to update you later on. He said he got some bad service inside of West Banco Arena.
Timbo!
So he's Colton Arnold, I believe he's continuing to move along. He got another pin earlier this morning. He's really getting after it. We know that entire Jackson Polar Bear team's down there. We'll update you on our Stark Media Team Twitter feed. Check us out at Stark Media Team. Give us a follow. Also check us out if you look over on Instagram, on Facebook at Stark Media Team. Come over and follow along everything that's going on as we update these tournaments, and we will talk about some of the local flavor that has traveled down there to West Virginia. But as we talk about the Leathernecks Nation MC and our friends at the Sam Center and also Save22.vet, the battle for veterans continues even after they've returned home from war, fighting PTSD, health battles, suicidal thoughts, and more. Every day, 22 veterans commit suicide, and they lose their battle against their demons. And Tom Indoor, founder of Save 22, Tim Arnold, Padre, all of those with Leathernecks Nation MC, and our friends Dave and Brian Bowman, along with Lucia at the Sam Center, are standing up for their fellow soldiers. Save 22 Veterans, founded in Carrollton, serves as a resource for veterans, first responders, and those in need alike, focusing on veteran suicide prevention and awareness locally and beyond. Save 22, a veteran-run organization, offers a number of veteran therapy programs, from professional racing, fishing, camping, and outdoor adventures, or just a shoulder to lean on or an ear to listen. For more information, visit their website at save22.vet or follow Save22 on social media by searching Save22-Veterans. Eagles FOE number 190, our presenting title sponsor for this MIT tournament. They're located in downtown Massillon at 303 Wyrick Boulevard. They're open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Also 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday until 8:30 on Sundays. Check them out at eagles190.com. Go over there for $20. You can register for $24 a year. Be a member of a fraternity that donates over $100,000 a year to local charities. Great food, drink, event. And if you're looking for a banquet facility or center to rent out for your next big fundraiser or party, you can seat up to 400 at the Eagles. Contact the Eagles FOE number 190 at 330-832-7385. Make sure if you're looking for some food later on, call our guy John Lindsay at Lindseys Pizza. Check him out at lindseys.com or call him at 477-3800. And a special shout out to our friends at Vallos and Associates. Call them at 494-2776 for all your home, auto, life, and financial insurance needs. A staple in North Canton community for over 75 years. All right, John, update us what we got
All
going on,
right,
partner.
talk about a staple, man. Check out this this guy over here, over on mat 3, Trent Thomas, senior from Bedford. He is a monster. He, looking like DeMarcus Cousins III out there, just putting a hurting on its opponent, Daryl Brown from Solon. And, you know, Solon is no slouch in this game. And this guy is just going, you know, from the left side was by right side with his cradle. I mean, man. Joe used to do that. He used to get on people and just grind it. If on the left side, he's going, you know, right side, near side, far side. It didn't matter.
He would get to one eventually.
Yeah, he'd get to one eventually. That's what he's been doing the whole time on top. And look at that.
Wow. Yeah.
Clockwork.
He just moves from one technique to the next.
That's, I tell you what, 190. That's, I mean, that his speed. That's Bedford. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Isn't that, remember old Chanel Firebird Bedford back in the day?
That's not them.
It's not them? Is this not the same guys?
Bedford has a high school.
So that's something.
Them green and
no,
black,
right. Firebirds was black and red.
Black and red.
Yeah. Chanel was.
But
yeah.
that is Bedford. Yeah. So,
it's Bedford though. So that's like the new.
No, there's always been a Bedford too, but
okay.
it was like Bedford, Chanel, Bedford. I think
two.
Chanel, so like
you're right,
school.
St. Peter. You're right, Jamie. You're exactly right. That was the difference.
Yeah, this was. Bedford's been here before, but their singlets just surprised me. I don't remember them being green and black.
Talk about fine-tuned athletes. Look, the Owen boy and the Bedford kid, man. They are in shape, man.
They're attacking nonstop.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's that cradle.
That cradle's amazing.
He needs to lift that knee.
Oh, he's gonna.
There. You don't always want to scoop it.
He's obsessed with scooping it.
A lot of body in there.
he needs a little Fausnight tune-up.
I can straighten that out a little bit. It's
go
funny that everybody thinks that hooking it and driving it over is the way to go. And
right.
Really, you just need to lift that knee, separate it between your bodies, and put that on the mat.
That's
how you finish that near side cradle.
Well, you got to adjust your hip position. Yeah.
Turn that inside hip down. That's what applies all the pressure.
James, that was Solon boy.
Yeah,
back in with a single.
Right back in.
I love that.
He went to kick him out, and he went right back at him.
That is
he's like,
awesome.
No, I'm falling for no banana in the tailpipe. I'm not going out like that.
No, he's not.
Right
man.
back in and went back after it.
He just look at this. He's running his hips right into his chest right now, trying to maybe get some back. So, nope. Wow, Bedford back on top with a Turk.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, he might get a tech fall here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get the bonus.
He'll get the bonus. You're talking about how important those are too earlier.
Every point counts, man. Especially
there you
if
go.
you're in that team race, you need every one of those bonus points. Well, I'll tell you what, fellas. I think that my ride is leaving. So
I was going to say, I didn't know if I left you guys unsupervised for too long, man. I see some of the notes that have been taken over here.
So I'll be here at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Jamie, we'll see you up here, man. We'll be getting after it all day, man. Look forward to it, man. As always, appreciate all the work that you do, man. Keeping us dialed in.
All right, fellas. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me. I'll see you in the morning.
Yep. Shout out to your boy Tanner, getting it on here at the M.I.T, the 46th annual Medina Invitational Tournament. Rocking and rolling here on the Stark Media YouTube channel. Shout out to Jamie Fausnight.
Yep.
North Vancouver Vikings in attendance here, getting it on as well. We got a chance to see Christian Friel. We got a chance to see Cooper Westfall. We saw Alex Bosky, who moved on and went down to Hunter Martin in the 150. But as we start to wind things down here a little bit, partner, I think we're getting into the 190s.
We are, yeah. So, TJ, that last match that we were talking about, the Bedford boy and wrestler from Solon, that was a 190 quarter pounder. And Bedford came out with the tech fall there on top. Man, that kid, he'll be lightning in the semis, man. Looking forward to seeing that battle. You got CJ Crawford up next here, 15 quarterfinal on mat 1 versus Ona Noski from Beechwood. That's a name I've seen before. And then down on mat 2, we got Austin Papalios from Beaver Creek versus Brock Treving from Clarkston. And that's a 190-pound quarterfinal there, TJ. That's going to be that one. And then there's going to be a follow-up match at 190 after that on that same mat, Garo versus Quarles next. And then Mansfield Senior, old Mansfield 316, man, they need to bring that back. If you are in any way listening and you know anybody from Mansfield's team, please bring that shirt. That was I guess I don't know if these kids today would even recognize it. That was a Stone Cold Steve Austin thing. Yeah.
When that shirt came out, man, that was that changed the game.
Oh, it was a game changer.
That D-Generation X.
You remember I had that singlet that was NWO, right? And then I used to rock the 316 T-shirt on top. I mean, if you're doing that, that would be great for the sport. I'd love to see that kind of thing come back. But he's up 2-0 against Jesse Wood. And those guys are moving around out there. Again, lightning, man. 2 15-pounders. You know, me and Jamie, TJ, while you were gone, we talked a little bit about these upper weight classes and how they've, translated into what they are today with guys that can actually move, and not just that, but they're doing technique that everybody else is doing too. And me and Jim Bostic have talked about that, how the secret sauce is out on technique.
The sauce is out. Here we're going to just, so everybody knows, anybody that's watching out there will go back and watch. We're going to flip this thing away from mat 1, 2, and 3, which are your quarterfinals. And we're going to go over to mat number 5 here and check out Owen Reinford.
And Owen is up against Brady Bendow. I don't know if he's related to Derek Bendow, the guy from Mayfield I was talking about earlier from Mayfield. Anyway,
so to the right is your right of your screen. He's taking on that Medina Highland Hornet. He takes the back of Owen, so he's going to go out to a 2-0 advantage. Again, go back and check out some of our social media things. We're going to be getting ready to launch our website here as we get into the first of the year. We celebrate our 1-year anniversary at Stark Media Group. I want to give us a shout out again. We appreciate all of our sponsors, all of our partners, all the support we get locally around the community. Vallos and Associates, the Eagles FOE 190, Hilscher-Clarke Electric Company, Leathernecks Nation MC, Lindseys Pizza, McNeill and Sons Tree Service. Finally, HereOhio.com, but it doesn't just stop there. Our friends over at iHeartRadio. Shout out to Brad Scarborough and some of the guys out here, our officials that I know he's worked with before on the mat. Our guy Jason Atkins, one of those officials as well. Shout out to Jimmy B, Jim Bostic, and some of our community partners like the Walsh University Cavaliers. Be looking forward to getting back out there. I believe Owen Reinford just got pinned, so he's going to go over there and get a couple messages from Coach Kayla.
Yeah, I see that. Shout out to our partner, Jim Bostic.
Yeah, I know he's missing being here tonight, man. I know he said anytime we get a chance to rock the microphone, he wants to be a part of it. So we're doing our best for you, buddy, holding it down. We look forward to catching up with you soon, and you're going to get a chance to hear from us again tomorrow as John and myself will be back up here. Jamie Fausnight joining us here at the 46th annual M.I.T. Medina Invitational Tournament. Shout out to Lynn Hoteling. Boy, coming on and dropping some heat, partner.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
knowledge of 30-plus years of knowledge being the director of this tournament. So she's seen a lot come through here, and we're starting to get into the bigs here, man. You look at these two cats down below, man, just chiseled up, and we'll kind of slide back over here and give you a glimpse of mat number 1.
Yep, if we won there, that is C.J. Crawford from Beaver Creek against Susanna Nowitzki from Beechwood. That's a 1-0. So that's going to be a close one there. They're already into the second period. And then we got mat 2. Talk about these are some big 190-pounders, CJ. Look at this kid. Hayden Garrow, Columbia Station. And then you got Peyton Corliss from Austintown Fitch. Man, I don't know. I'm
looking at, let me see here, from the young man from Fitch. You mentioned Peyton Corliss.
Got to be a football guy, right?
I would think so. I got a chance to call them. Looking through Peyton, where are you at here, buddy? Still
190.
Still 190.
Peyton
okay.
Corliss, yeah.
So Peyton Corliss. I do believe I remember seeing that name, but it doesn't stick out to me. And I know that Coach TJ Parker ran a great program up there this year. They came down. We had a chance, as we mentioned, our friends at iHeartRadio on the free iHeartRadio app and over on 99.7 FM, Canton's new country and Stark Media team's new home.
Yeehaw.
We had a chance to see the Massillon Washington Tigers. They got a chance to take on Fitch when they were undefeated about, I don't want to say week 6. Coming off, you're seeing an undefeated team coming off of a victory over St. Ed's, the only team to beat St. Ed's this year, the Massillon Tigers. They did it in the final 3 seconds with a home run shot to Braylon Tolles in the back of the end zone. We would get a chance to see, if you go over and check out our Twitter feed, Facebook, Instagram, all that. We were out there working with our friends at the Ohio High School Athletic Association. We were there for that evening where St. Ed's, their second consecutive state championship. Shout out,
yeah, Coach, Coach Urbis, man.
I'll tell you what, Coach. I'm thinking, who am I thinking of here? It's Coach Tom Lombardo, back-to-back state championships now. Spent some time at Meadow Lake Catholic, known around the area, known around the Northeast Ohio region. But as we were there that evening, it dawned on me that the St. Ed's team was pretty special. But then to see the Massillon Tigers, talked about it, they would take on Fitch the week after. Ooh. And they Swiss cheese the Fitch defense for 404 yards of rushing in that game. The young man, Will Hartson, who's going to be going to Ohio State, he just said he was going to walk on down there. He's going to be a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Buckeyes, getting ready to take on the Georgia Bulldogs here this Saturday.
We actually watched that game on Spectrum 1.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It was Swiss cheese.
Yeah, and they went off, so I had to name the entire offensive line and Will Trail players of the game, because when you rush for 404 on the ground, man, your offensive line just straight got after it. So
it's a good day. Good day.
We know. Also, check out on 99.7 FM, the free iHeartRadio app. Friday at 5:15, you can catch Sam Berkwin and Lee Foster as they are going to bring you the Hoover Vikings and Alliance Aviators basketball, firing that up. We ran off, I believe about 9 or 10 basketball games for you here thus far in the early part of the season. And, as you kind of mentioned, John, earlier, with basketball, girls and boys, and again, I see some of the North. They just finished watching their last match with Owen Reinford. The Northwest Lady Indians Hoop Squad went up to the Cedar Point Sports Center today and got a victory over Old Fort, a 40-point victory over Old Fort in the Jingle Bell Jam. Shout out to Lily Bottomley, Ashley Kudnick, who was MVP of that game, and Coach Hollywood Lower, getting it done for Northwest. But for me, it kind of all made sense, as you talked about earlier. I see the young man down there. You see the guy in the green champion shirt to the right of him. He's got a little bit of Dolphin in him.
Oh, he got some Dolphin in him, man. That dude.
He's Dolphin. We're going to get a chance to, Stark Media Team's going to get a chance to catch up with the legend Brian Dolphin as we start to bring you some Where Are They Now type features with Jim Bostic, Fausnight, John Lowery, myself. But no, you kind of think, John, that you get the hard thing about winter sports is that right as you get started, you get winter break, right? So you've got Christmas, you've got New Year's, you've got that 2-week period where you're off school, but you're going to get these. You got to start your season, maybe get the first 20 to 30% of it in, and then you get the remaining 60 to 70 on the backside when January and we return back to school that first week of January. So kind of, was that always a hard flow? And for us, as we've done some early basketball games, and we get ready to dive in as everybody's making their march toward recently here down in Dayton as well. They've hosted that tournament down in Dayton. But the shot for, as we know, not only the boys wrestling, but you're going to have Mat 4, which is dedicated to girls wrestling, sanctioned by the state of Ohio now. Ohio High School Athletic Association doing what's right for the sport, including the girls. So they will wrestle for state championships this year. But for you, how hard was it for that 2-week off period where it's more or less not duels, but it's more of what Jamie talked about? It's conditioning, it's practice, and it's coming to some events like this.
I call that the M word, miserable. Because, well, here's why. If you're a student athlete out there, you know what? All your friends and buddies, they're all, having a good time, relaxing on the holiday,
Living high on the hog, man.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
High on that Christmas ham.
That Christmas ham, going ham on the Christmas ham. Yeah,
With that
and
brown sugar glaze, it's just hard to get away from.
it's hard to get away from, and not just that, just having the idea of like a vacation, and these kids didn't get that. They, same here when I experienced that as well. We didn't get that little break, in our schedule, and that's mentally a discipline, and definitely something that every kid out there that's participating as a winter sport athlete got to give them a shout out. Incredible the discipline they're putting themselves through. Not just what they get done in the practice room, but outside the practice room. And we're up here in Northeast Ohio, so weather in the winter, obviously, for these winter sport athletes isn't too friendly either. So, you factor that in. There's a lot of X factors that make the winter sport season brutal, especially during the holidays when everybody else is partying, having fun, and enjoying themselves and relaxing a little bit, like a little vacation. No vacation for you, man. You're
No soup for you.
yeah, that's no soup for you, like they said in Seinfeld. Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys caught through that hot mic coming through there, but I had a chance to catch up with Daryl from North Gateway Tire, who they are the title sponsor of this Medina Invitational Tournament. They have been for a very long time. Lynn Hoteling talked about them and their partnership. So if you're ever in need for tires, go to North Gateway Tire Company. That was Daryl, the owner, that we got a chance to talk to. His grandson, Creed, is wrestling in this tournament. I did not catch the weight, but that was Creed Hill, I believe.
Not Apollo Creed?
Not Apollo Creed.
Right.
Got a message from Jamie there. That was Creed Hill, who's wrestling. That's Daryl and Joyce's grandson, owners of North Gateway Tire. Make sure if you stop down there, go see Jeff. Go contact Jeff at North Gateway Tire. Tell him the Stark Media team sent you, and Daryl promised you will be hooked up, man. So if you're in need of tires, go check out North Gateway Tire. And shout out to Daryl, Joyce, and their family for sponsoring this great and 46th annual Medina Invitational Tournament. All right, we're moving on to the heavies here, partner. We got some 215s finishing up. I see the big bodies out on the mat. It looks like the Consis have finished up. And we're going to get ready to about wrap this broadcast up here. We've been rocking and rolling for about 2 hours. Appreciate you. Appreciate Jamie Fausnight. Appreciate Lynn Hoteling. We got to talk to Coach Chad from the Medina Bees. He was quick. He was in and out, man, because he had a guy coming onto the mat. So, Chad Gilmore, appreciate you and some of the information that you were able to drop on us. We're going to talk some more with a 3-time state champ from North Royalton. An 86 grad, a Penn State All-American, took over the job at Findlay in 97. We'll keep that a surprise because we want to let Jamie Fausnight usher that head coach of Findlay in here because it was actually his coach when he was there at Findlay. Yep. So we're going to get a chance to hear from him tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of special guests coming on with us. So catch us early. We'll be up here for the duration tomorrow. We appreciate everybody who's joined us on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel here for the quarterfinals and some of the contests going on here at Medina Senior High School, the home of the Bees. Just a great tournament, man, from everything that we've heard, from what we've seen, from what we talked about with Lynn. This is something that's been strong in Northeast Ohio for a very long time.
The greatest show in Northeast Ohio in wrestling right now. Absolutely. Well, and like Jamie mentioned, you still got your, Top Gun tournament. Brecksville has a, really hype tournament. So there's a, obviously a lot going on this time of year. You mentioned earlier, down at the field house in Canton today, they got
24 teams.
Yeah, 24 teams. So, shout out to Northeast Ohio in general.
Yeah, Mike Schott, Joe Bogdan, really we talk about athletic director and facilities manager for Canton City Schools and those facilities over there. You talk about on the grounds of the Hall of Fame Village, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, just a special place in Canton that we've had a chance to be around our entire life. Great that they're doing that inside of the field house. We were over there off of the old Timken campus when we brought you that tri-match between Alliance, Massillon, and McKinley. We'll continue to kind of bring you some more things locally, duels, as we talked about, when those kind of come back around here in the first week, 2-3 weeks of January. We're going to be out there at Top Gun. We're going to be over there with Coach Ryan Riggs.
Oh, he's flexing.
Mount Union.
TJ.
Yeah, we got some flex action, man.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Was that the guy that got flexed on from pitch?
Bro, he just out did Ferrari on the flex. Sorry, Ferrari. Yeah.
If you
Hayden.
missed it, go back to the Iron Man on our YouTube channel, and you missed Angelo Ferrari giving a flex to the entire Blair coaching staff and those players. But tell us about what just happened there, John.
All right, so that was Hayden Garrow from Columbia Station, but he put like a little hop around the mat, and he's just like putting it right on that other guy's team, fans and coaches, everybody. I mean, that was great. I love seeing that. I know last week at the Holiday Classic, North Canton, man, I kept hearing like these kids shouting Kenobi. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Cannolis, where's the cannolis?
Yeah, and I'm like talking to it was Brian's boy AJ. I said, what's going on with that, man? What's the celebration? Is this like a TikTok thing? And he said, yeah, man, they're ripping Kenobi, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars.
You were texting that to me, partner. Yeah. I'm thinking, ripping a Kenobi.
Yeah. Yes.
Man.
In one of the cartoon episodes, Darth Maul yells, Kenobi like that. That's where, they got that from.
All right, if you're looking down here, I'm going to let John pull some names together for you here. But on mat number 3, the farthest mat, your heavyweight quarterfinals, you've got a young man from the North Ridgeville Rangers, no state champions.
Yeah. Edward Powers, he's a senior.
And Powers, then you got a young man from the Cloverleaf Colts who's going to take bottom here.
Timmy Shores.
Timmy Shores, man, one state champion in Cloverleaf Colts history.
Wow.
Mark Mole, the head coach, out of the Portage Trail Conference. 12 state placers out of the Medina County area right here. And as we talked about the North Ridgeville Rangers, they're out of Lorain County, out of the Southwestern Conference, 10 all-time state placers. And interesting, North Ridgeville Rangers, their last M.I.T. was in 1986, and they placed 9th. So a little history lesson for you here. And then you go back to 2019, the Cloverleaf Colts placed 18th in this tournament, sporting the green and white.
So when I think Cloverleaf, I think high school football, TJ.
Yeah. The strong program there. I believe my guy Todd Murgatroyd spent some time there as a coach, was one of my GAs down at Ohio State, was a coach down for the Hawaii Rainbows, for the Tennessee Volunteers. Could be getting that wrong. Maybe it could be Mudbrook, could be Cloverleaf. I'm shooting my shot there, see what happens. But some bigs down there in the middle, I believe, just had a pin there.
And that was North Ridgeville came through. That's Edward Powers with that pin.
Powers gets the pin, and then you also had from the
Powers with the power.
The Buckeye Bucks.
Oh, the Buckeye Buck. That's your golf shout-out wrestler down there. He got the win over. That's Todd Allen over Bert Solomon from Westerville North. All
right, so one final match before we wrap things up here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Want to shout out again all of our sponsors who make this thing tick here. Make sure to go over and not only patronize them at their business locations, but go over and check out our Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Subscribe, share it out. Go over to Facebook, share, like, and get our word out, get our message out here as we cover different athletes, bring you different stories. Just a lot going on, not only in the Stark County area, but Summit County area as we move up here into Medina County, as we really make a presence in all of Northeast Ohio. Check out Media Team Twitter feed. Give us a follow on there as well and kind of put some stuff out there for us and retweet us and get our message out there. Get these young athletes, these student athletes out there for all the hard work that they put in, all the sacrifices that they make to be able to get it done. Shout out to our friends at the Eagles FOE number 190, getting it done for us, donating over $100,000 a year to local charities. Check them out at theeagles190.com or call them at 832-7385. Go down there, sign up for $20 and a yearly due of $24 gets you food, drink specials, and access to one of the nicest banquet facilities in the Stark County area. Our friends at the Leathernecks Nation MC, the Sam Center, and Save22.vet, Hilscher-Clarke Electric Company, finally HearOhio.com. You know anybody that's struggling with hearing? Contact our guy, Chris McCready's, with over 30 years of experience at 492-1212, or stop down and see him at 1201 30th Street Northwest in Canton. Tell them the Stark Media Team sent you. Go to finallyhearohio.com and get your free hearing evaluation. My guy, John Lindsay at Lindseys Pizza, located in the Hillsdale Shopping Center at 2827 Whipple Avenue in Canton. Call him at 477-3800 or order online at lindseys.pizza.com. Pizza, chicken, subs, salads, and calzones. Big football games coming up on Saturday. Michigan Wolverines taking on TCU at 4. Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Georgia Bulldogs in the Peach Bowl. Home game for the Bulldogs on Saturday evening. While you're at home, make sure to go to Lindseys Pizza, order, they deliver. Get all of your game day food, the preferred post-game pizza, or we'll call it post-match pizza, of the Stark Media
That's
team.
right.
Check out lindseys.pizza.com or call them at 477-3800. Shout out to all of our good sponsors, and that includes our guy, Chris Vallis, and his brother, Jimmy Vallis, over at CH Vallos and Associates in North Canton. Call them at 494-2776 for your home, auto, life, and financial service needs. And then there was one match left, partner, heading to the second period, scoreless match.
Scoreless,
between
yeah.
two bigs down there.
You know what was awesome that first period, TJ? These guys hand fighting.
I love the hand combatives, man.
Well, if these big guys, it's like haymakers. It's not even hand fighting, man. They're those big paws coming down across the face and the back of the head. That's incredible, and they maintained their balance. These guys both have, kept good in their stance the whole first period there. Kind of like mirroring each other almost, filling each other out in that first period. So you see guys do that once in a while.
That's what they're doing down there, man. They're feeling each other out. Hey, we mentioned as we got on here at about 3:45, the round of 8. Is it the round of 8 for the quarters? I think you got 8 guys going, 4 matches inside of the quarterfinals.
That's right. Yep.
So the round of 8, tomorrow we'll have your Consis in the morning at 9 a.m. You're going to have your semifinals after that, and then you'll have your finals, I believe that Lynn said, will probably take place between the 3 days as we bring you the different action here from M.I.T. Just a great tournament overall. Some wrestlers that, this is something right here. I believe I mentioned you talk about as we were driving up here, that this is something that it prepares you for that final now state championship run as you prepare to make that march towards the shot in Columbus, March 10th and March 11th.
That's correct. Yeah, it really does. It gives you not just a confidence and motivational mentally, but also this is something that kind of, helps you paint the picture, locally for your sectional tournament, for your district, even, down for Columbus, because like Jamie was mentioning, you got a lot of, strong presence here at Medina with these Central Ohio teams that came up. So you get a little, taste of Central Ohio. And what, you can do is go back and look, see, okay, when these guys go back home to Central Ohio, how'd they fare up in their section district and how'd you place up against them here at the Medina? So
right.
That's the strategy there. And that's definitely, something that I think all these guys are, looking forward to is what you do and how you finish up there at the Schottenstein Center. But, it's I got to say this again, man. The heavyweight weight class is loaded. I mean, you guys are getting it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
this is scoreless right here. We're heading into the final period. Minute 50 remaining in the third period. You've got these two guys battling it out here on mat number 3. If you look on your screen to the top left, that is our final match of the evening.
Well, TJ, back in my day, man, a lot of teams didn't have a heavyweight. You know what I mean? It was rare to have that guy that came out there on the football team, whatever, to do it. And you come to a tournament like this, even a big one, it'd be, eight heavyweights maybe. You know what I mean? Most schools even bring one with them. So, to see, the bracket here, pretty full at the heavyweight weight class. Last week at the North Canton Holiday, there was 31 out of 32 heavyweights in that bracket, man. Love seeing that. There's something about, a good heavyweight match, man. Just like in boxing, you got those lightweight, McGregor matches.
Right.
Yeah, Mayfield. Yeah.
Looks like
Mike Tyson, man.
I believe that was Alex Griffin, the junior from Galleon. He's going to take a 1-0 lead with 50 seconds remaining here in the third period.
That's over Evan Halfcock from Medina. Both boys are really getting at it. Junior there from
Griffin's
Galleon.
going to go up 3-0 now with 40 seconds. And again, as we get ready to sign off, we'll be back here tomorrow. Action from Medina. M.I.T, the 46th annual. Great turnout today. Great crowd in attendance. Shout out to all of our locals that have gone down to the Wheeling duels. We'll have some updates for you on that. So again, check us out on social media, all of our different platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, new website launching here for our 1-year anniversary in January. We appreciate everybody who has helped support us, helped get us to this point, keeping us around. Obviously, the listeners, the viewers, those that follow along and appreciate the content that we bring you. Couldn't do it without you, without that growing presence. We can't continue to get out there and bring you these live broadcasts. So special thanks to all of you out there, fans of Stark Media, and we will bring you more wrestling, more basketball coming back up here on Friday with Sam Berkwin and Lee Foster. iHeartRadio app at 5:15, and that's going to do it for us here at the M.I.T. 46th Annual. Shout out again to North Gateway Tire and Partner as we wrap up here. We see Alex Griffith get that final hand raised of the first day of M.I.T. What are kind of some of your final thoughts here?
Oh, what an exciting day, man. You know what? Something we got to think about is coming up with a name for the court. You call it a blood round, in consolation, give it that name. But that's what we just saw, that's the blood round for championship, dude. That's when these kids are scrapping out there to place in this tournament. If you win that match, you guarantee place. So you're getting that semifinal match, and there was a lot to be said to be out there and make it to that quarterfinal for these guys, and then a lot of great consolation matches going on that we got to see, especially with our local representation from our guys at Canal Fulton and North Canton. Man, just love seeing not just the effort from the wrestlers, but the coaching staff from both those programs as well, and what they're doing for these kids. So shout out to all of them. Also, TJ was talking about all the great things, going on with Stark Media. And, I explained it. Jim asked me, last week about, he said, I said, this is taking, our broadcasting to the next level. It really is. And, this kind of thing, think about when we were, these kids' age, if we would have had something like this, an outlet like that to, get on, social media or any kind of outlet like that, think how important that would have been to you, man.
You've been shacked in a fool, man.
Dude, yeah, I tell you what, I would have sent that link to every person in my family, man. Every of my high school, I would have wrote it on their locker.
Nah, you sent it to your girlfriends. That's who sent it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, them too, but yeah, that would have made sure, my history teacher had the link. That's for sure.
All right, well, listen, that's going to do it for us here. We'll be back for more tomorrow from the 46th Annual M.I.T. Wrapping up quarterfinals of Consis here for my partner, Jamie Fausnight and John Lowery here to the right of me. I'm TJ Downing saying thank you one more time for tuning in and listening to us here on the Stark Media Team YouTube channel. Stay back with us tomorrow and see some great premier high school wrestling action, not only in Northeast Ohio, but the entire state and our friends from Indiana and Michigan as well. So long, everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening.